What's the point of this fucked up catastrophe? I'm waiting for my time to start. Is I wasted? Is I wasted? I pop these pills to waste some time. Is I'm fading? Is I'm fading? This shit messes with my head. The only home I know is my bed. Too lazy for suicide. I just watch the days pass. Hoping to die. So sick and tired of being alone. So long farewell, I'm on my own. I'm sorry, mom, I got to go. I dug this grave, I call my home. So sick and tired of being alone. So long farewell, I'm on my own. Daydreaming of my funeral, like who would show that no one would go. A dad would show up for me now, just to bury your little boy in the ground. You broke my heart and you left me. Was just waiting, was just waiting. I pop these pills to waste some time. As I'm fading, as I'm fading. This shit messes with my head. The only home I know is my bed. Too lazy for suicide. I just watch the days pass, hoping to die. So sick and tired of being alone. So long farewell, I'm on my own. I'm sorry, mom, I got to go. I dug this grave, I call my home. So sick and tired of being alone. So long farewell, I'm on my own. I'm sorry, mom, I got to go. I dug this grave, I call my home. I dug this grave, I call my home. I dug this grave.
A frown. They've clipped my wings again, tore them apart and then left me. No use to fly away to my yesterday of freedom. My eyes died back that day, seeing the
crucified, trying to steal your little social butterfly. Improvise by getting high to feel alive. Dead inside, unconfined, no escape, there ain't a place to hide. Like he's giving all these lemons, they just all expired. Like he's giving all these lemons, they just all expired. You still can't make me cry. You pin this butterfly down. My fire's burning out. Kill my flame without a frown. And starving hurts the soul when you're hungry for some love. So if I close my eyes, I can really fly
I'll go where secrets are stored, where roses unfold. I'll sleep as time goes by. So hurting here is where I belong, dreaming a song, blood on my hands to stay strong. Flowers in the graveyard are all gone. I don't belong. There is no right to heal the wrong. Sips on hot, feeling like a demon die. I can't throw up. I don't think I even wanna try.
I don't really know now. I didn't give a fuck, even stay in every hour. What you really feel like? Yeah, she tryna hop, but I think I better go now. I know what it feels like. Yeah, I know it sucks when things don't come around. Don't break, break your neck. I don't really know now. I've been hearing things, cause I know now. I don't really hear cause it's so loud. Screaming at my face, I guess I know now. This shouldn't be a hard time. She wanna focus though, I don't care about the star sign. I think I better go now. I don't give a fuck if you stay, you can throw me out. I've been really losing my mind. I don't really know if you're mine. I don't really hear you cause it's so loud. Screaming to my face, I guess I know now. I've been really losing my mind. I don't really know if you're mine. I don't really hear you cause it's so loud. Screaming to my face, I guess I
All right, my friends, my internet weirdos, my darlings. My brain is absolute fucking mush today. I have had three job interviews in one day. So mentally, I think I'm pretty much checked out at this point. So I figured, why not just do drama? Why not just yap? Why not spend the evening joyfully with y'all whilst perhaps playing some video game? It has been a long day up until this point for me. So if my brain ain't quite braining today, it is what it is. Well, that's good. Screening interviews, or I do not know what screening interview means. But yes. Got 2 more next week. Actually, those 2 are a continuation of the interviews that I had today. 2 of them anyway, for one I'm still waiting. Today was the first time in my life that I've done 3 job interviews in one day, and they got back to me for 2 of those within like an hour and a half of the job interview finishing, which was real inconvenient for the first one because I received the phone call during my second one. And I got they put me into the second stage, and I'm meeting the bigger people next week, and then I don't know if I'm gonna get an offer or not after that. Within the day, that's crazy. It was, yeah, it was. That's why I'm saying my brain is fucking mush. I have done logistics today that I don't think I've done this much, like job hunting wise, in terms of interviews at the very least, ever before in my life. Screening interview is just the first, usually with a recruiter or grunt, who will then pass you on to the hiring manager or whoever for the second interview. Then ish. One of these was exactly like that. The other one was already with the team leader. In the one that was like that, I have another job interview with the actual team lead on next week. I've got the dates written down. I don't fucking remember anymore. And then for the other one, I've got an interview with the department lead also next week. That department lead interview is face to face. But it's, I think, so I don't know what the process is usually like, but I've already had the one with the team leader today, and if I'm interviewing with the department lead, I don't know if that's going to be a technical interview, or if that's going to be more like a, are you a fucking freakazoid or not kind of an interview. Looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to it. Brain is mush, though. Absolute fucking mush. Hey, Andreas, how you doing, buddy? Who do we have here? We've got 2-Bit Dog and Andreas in the YouTube chat, and on Twitch we've got Stepan, Amenax, Beans, of course Peepo, telling me to show Hog. How are you all doing today? I hope that your day has been perhaps not as eventful as mine. Because I don't think I wish that on anyone, you know what I mean? Fucking brain ain't braining anymore. But at the very least, I hope your day has been going fine. Usually the first one is to strain out the weirdos, and the second one is the technical one. Yeah, it's just they fucking, everyone does it differently nowadays. Because supposedly the first one would be to screen out weirdos with the quote-unquote grunt, then you passed on to the team lead for the technical one. For the one that I had today, for example, the first step was to do they sent me a case study to do with money laundering and a few other things for me to analyze. And I've done the case study, sent it back to them. Then I had the interview today with the team lead where we spoke about a few technical bits, but not many, frankly. And then next week, it's supposed to be with like the head of the department. And I don't know. So in my current job, the head of the department wouldn't really be able to ask me many technical questions because the head of the department doesn't really do the technical stuff anymore. They are like the head who's responsible for the team leaders who are responsible for the people who do what they do. You know what I mean? I don't know. I will let you know next week, that's for sure. It'd be nice to land something that puts me back on an 8 whilst 6 schedule. No AI interviewer, count yourself lucky. Yeah, no, luckily not. I actually did have an AI interview Well, I didn't have one. I was sent an invitation, and I figured I'm just not gonna do that, you know? Because a while ago, I started applying more broadly, rather than sticking to only things that I very specifically want to do. I have widened the net a little bit, and from one of those net widening applications, I got an interview with an AI. I got an invitation to an AI interview, and I figured, you know what? I don't care that much about this particular position. I started it and it was just real fucking uncomfortable. Very strange, very strange. Sometimes the technical one comes before you ever talk to anyone. As a programmer, I've needed to do my fair share of random tasks before ever getting an email from a human being. That's the vibe for one of the ones that I did today. And for the other one was, the other job interview was very strange, but in a way that I find hopeful, if that makes sense. I don't want to get my hopes up because if the field I'm trying to, you know, get myself involved in is anywhere near as competitive as I think it is, which everything is pointing to the fact that it is, then there's going to be a fuck ton of candidates, so I'm obviously not getting my hopes up because there's no point. But I have never before in my life joined a job interview where the guy tells me almost straight off the bat that he's not going to be asking me too many technical questions because it's not, it's too easy to get like an AI cheat sheet and then just rattle off details that he's not going to be able to double check anyway. And he's just interested in my soft skills and overall approach to that, to like whether I have the qualifications, so to speak. But he's not going to check anything technical. That technical thing, I think, might happen either next week, if it does at all, because the profile of jobs that I'm applying for is significantly different. So I think they might be able to weed people out without technical questions. I would still expect some, because otherwise you might get a fucking idiot in there. But I don't know. It's certainly new. It's just applying for jobs in 2026 is very fucking different. Hey Lou, how you doing? Error, hey Chris. Day's been good, just waiting for shit to happen at Offkai because people were losing their shit because they announced Fansly would be sponsoring them. Oh, right. I did not know. That sounds like something I might want to Google a little bit later. Fansly sponsoring Offkai. That sounds like something I might want to Google right now, actually. That was like 2 months ago, was it? How the fuck have I missed that? Why would people have an issue with, Actually, I don't know much about Offkai. Is Offkai 18 plus or is Offkai not 18 plus? Because I know that usually when they do these kinds of cons, there are like 18 plus zones where minors are just not allowed to go in. And if they want to do some fucking OnlyFans or Fansly advertisements in there, I don't really think I give a fuck. It sounds like good capitalism, you know what I mean? Well, with a caveat, but still. I had to write code on a piece of paper for my current position, the only way to weed out AI using scum. Yeah, it's the stuff that's actually fucking grim for you to have to do that. The difficulty for the field that I'm applying for, Amanax, is that it's a little bit further away from like analysis that I do currently and a little bit closer to legal analysis. And I think, at least for the first part of the interview that I had today, it's going to be very difficult for HR to be able to figure out if I am or if I am not bullshitting if they start asking me to like perform legal analysis on something, you know what I mean? So I think they might just, that might be next week, or it might not be the case at all, and it might just be the case that, you know, you get the position on the probationary period, and if you're a shitter, then you're going to be out in 3 months. But I'm not a shitter. I'm quite competent, actually, for most things that do not involve streaming, funnily enough. So, fingers crossed. Not getting my hopes up too high, but, you know, I just wanted to share, just wanted to give you a little bit of a view into my private affairs. So I hope you enjoy that. And as for content for today, we've got Cheeto's most hated channel, Internet Versus, covering the Hasan and Destiny situation. We've got a video by Himpleton talking about Channel 5 not telling us the full story about their lawsuit. This is actually very much in tune with what we've been discussing in Discord, which is also largely thanks to Cheeto finding out some sussy shit about these people. So that's that might be interesting. We've got a Bodycam review video from the New York Post, and we've got a video recommended to me by Leonard from Hey Whoa, entitled "The Year is 1993," and this video is apparently about like Warhammer and politics, kinda. But I don't. Leonard specifically didn't really tell me the details because I'm assuming he wanted me to watch it and then, you know, have a sort of more genuine take on it. And if we've gone through all of that and we're looking for more content, Andrew Tate is in trouble once again. There are a few videos on the topic. I do not know which one I'll choose. I know that Abba and Preach have covered this. I know that Mockler has covered this. There seems to be a lot of people talking about the fact that Andrew Tate is back in jail, and the UK is trying to extradite him out of America and into the UK so that they can legally fuck him up, so to speak. Why Cheeto hates it? Oh, we have a reasonably grounded suspicion that the Internet Versus guy might be gay, and Cheeto's just like a raging homophobe. That's predominantly why he hates him. I think he's mentioned something about his like way of doing content as well. But if I remember the quote from Cheeto, it was something like, the content's not that big a deal. I just hate F words, you know? It's Cheeto gets weird like that at times. But you know, it is what it is. We live and we let live. Do we want to start with Internet versus Hasan and Destiny? I always wonder when I start telling these fake stories about Cheeto being like a homophobe or whatever, I wonder if Cheeto's here listening, you know? Let us begin.
Live streamer Hasan is now considering getting a restraining order against live streamer Destiny after an event happened.
I swear, fuck, okay. 6 seconds in and we're pausing already. Is this not the second time that's happening, or was it something else? Because I swear I remember a drama where Hasan was going to do something legal to Destiny.
Earlier this week, hosted by the College Democrats of America, where Hasan was set to speak. And in response, Destiny wanted to show up to the event. However, after a confrontation with a staff member and a clip of Hasan getting info about Destiny's planned visit, Destiny was barred from entry, with many online referencing text messages of Destiny talking about harassing people interviewing
Lily, how you doing,
Hasan,
love?
and other various messages that Destiny has said about Hasan in the past. This, of course, has sparked a bunch of discourse online, with Destiny and Hasan going back and forth over the whole situation. And there's a lot to get into, so let's just jump in. Welcome to the Internet versus Hasan's Destiny restraining order. It starts with Deed posting that the College Democrats of America announced Hasan Piker as a surprise speaker at the 2026 summer convention later today. This is on July 18th, the day of the convention, and it is a post by the College Dems saying, introducing our surprise speaker, and none other than Hasan Piker. Willie Mackshow replies, the press vesta has me dead. Tyler says, no wonder he's a surprise guest. Nobody would come if they knew beforehand. The Power of Reason says, really? The guy who told people not to vote for a Democrat in the presidential election? The guy who routinely condemns Dems who aren't far left enough? Yikes. Wick quote tweets Seed by saying, he's not a Democrat and is an active enemy to Democrats, but some staffers have infiltrated and are proceeding to infect this institution by inviting this parasite in. Destiny quote tweets the post saying, not the LARPer vest. And then he also responded to a different post that he'd made saying Hasan responds to chatter suggesting Destiny.
Wick parentheses homophobe? Wait, is Wick a homophobe? Was there drama that I've missed? That sounds intriguing.
Is trying to ride his wave by asking, is the College Democratic event today open to the public? And Dylan Lorenz replies with a meme saying, please God, let this happen because it would be so fucking funny. Then
this is on a 250 stream streak. God damn, Diz. Sheesh, congratulations, man. Fucking 250. When you reach 500, Diz, I'm inviting Henry Cavill to stream with me. That is a solemn vow.
When Destiny attempted to show up to the event, he tweets out saying, "Unfortunately, we're
Almost
barred from
error,
going
actually.
into the event
Almost,
because
yeah.
Hasan spammed text to complain to the vice president of college Dems, Cameron Landon. This is despite my community putting over $1 million into canvassing and funding for Dems against Republicans."
Fuck, I remember that, Lua. What was it? What was it specifically? We spoke about that, I think. I remember Wig does weird shit a decent amount, so some of it gets lost in the source for me, but there definitely was something like that. I remember the discourse about it. Every recent discourse by Wig, or including Wig, has recently been sort of overshadowed by that. Do you remember when... Fuck, I don't remember what that dude's name is, but when he was asking Wick like what he would do if there was somebody stalking another person in his Discord, and Wick was not happy answering that question. It was during the whole blow up with Destiny. I remember when it was, but I wonder what it was specifically. Should invite Diz out for a beer and make it a stream. If only we weren't divided by like 80,000 miles.
The last 5 years, and Hasan doing nothing besides attacking moderate Dems and calling them homo-fascists when they don't support their anti-Dem candidates. Video incoming. He then quote tweets himself with this video in the caption, "This guy was literally shaking after getting the threats from Hasan the Hun if he'd let us in, lol."
Yeah, and I deliver like pizzas. Are you Destiny? Yeah. We're not letting you in. Yeah, I got. We're not letting you in because we're worried about causing disruption. So I've been every year worried you're going to yell or some shit towards us on, and we're not going to. I'm sorry. The first time it's like the mention. Am I going to get a my tickets? Yes, and give you a refund. I'm sorry. How can I not get into it? We're telling you we're not going to get it. We're telling you you're not going to get it. I know who doesn't support the Democratic Party or whatever has priority over. I'm not engaging in this conversation. Okay, I understand. Is there anybody ahead of you or anybody above you that I can speak about this? Or? I am the national vice president. Okay. Of the College Democrats of America. Yeah, but she trusts me with everything, so yeah. Love her. Security. Security. Okay.
No, they always wear that, fuck, what is it called? It's not a keeper. What am I thinking of? The scarf that he's wearing, the checkered scarf. They always wear those at those kinds of events.
You can chill. Walk out of the middle.
So unnecessary.
This isn't, look, we're gonna walk.
No, good job. You did it. Thank
Well,
you.
you're not following rules, you're making your own.
That's fine.
Is the white and blue? Okay, do you know what? We're going to do an Israel review with 3 minutes, 20 seconds in. I want to... I'm an accent. Am I racist or is the VP dressed very Israeli? Can we do a poll in chat? Hold on, how the fuck do you do a poll? Open up a setup menu to do a poll. Question. Is the VP dressed very Israeli? Yes, no. Duration, 2 minutes. Start a poll.
Walk out of the middle.
So unnecessary.
This isn't, look, we're gonna walk.
No, good job. You did it. Thank
Well,
you.
you're not following rules, you're making your own.
That's fine.
Kathy, thank you, Quill. That's, yeah, but that wouldn't be very
Then roughly 20
Israeli, would it?
minutes
That'd
after
be,
that clip was posted,
was
College
just me having a
Democrats of
moment.
America makes a post.
That's the tweet that I was looking for. Yeah, the College Democrats of America tweet. Individual members of the College Democrats of America convention attendees and speakers are not official spokespeople of our organization. But the person is like a VP. Surely that's that is an official spokesperson, no?
On their own page saying individual members of the College Democrats of America convention attendees and speakers are not official spokespeople of our organization. And there is a community note here added saying the person referenced in claims of barring attendees is College Democrats of America's official executive vice president Cameron Landon, not merely an individual member. Shao IRL replies, "Why was Destiny and Darius plus their friends kicked from the event? They are real Democrats unlike Hasan. Hasan refused to support Dems and is un-American." And DRK Toss replies, "Cut the shit. The people trying to get into the event are liberal Democrats. So stop taking orders from a dog-shocking terrorist and open the doors." And ZXC says, "Jesus fucking Christ. Blue MAGA really loves showing how racist they are." Black Cat shows a picture of the organizer with the caption, "This is your guy though, who actively blacklists top pro-Dem influencers." North is Live quote tweets the post with this picture and the caption, "You kicked us out of the event after we paid hundreds of dollars for tickets. We were extremely respectful and we followed all the rules you told us. The mere mention of Destiny caused us instantly to be removed. Are we going to get the refund you promised? And then Destiny quotes his post.
Where is this the kid that was walking around with Darius, or is this a different group? Okay, so the result of the poll for am I racist or is the VP dressed very Israeli is yes. And I am going to assume, because I did not specify earlier, that this is yes to both. Yes, he's dressed very Israeli, and yes, Amanax, you are very racist. I hope that answers your question.
Caused us instantly to be removed. Are we going to get the refund you promised?
Also true,
And then
Lord,
Destiny
yeah.
quotes his post by North by saying, the funny thing is, the college Dems let in Jared Mackey, the guy who gave a guided tour to Hasan in Michigan, the same guy who was later arrested for making bomb threats to a dozen different locations, Lamau. And they attach this picture of Hasan.
He just read a quote retweet from Wick without including crucial context about Wick's biases and relationships with Destiny. Do most people in the Internet Versus audience already know who Wick is? Probably not. I will be honest with you though, I don't know if Internet Versus necessarily knows who Wick is. Because sometimes Internet Versus is just gonna like include 6 like tweets, and I don't know where his like shit is sourced from. I mean, he probably knows, but I don't know. I don't know how much he knows. That's his fucking job. Well, yeah, I would agree with you, Cheeto, but at the same time, people, look, there's no consequences to revving it. There are just no consequences ever to revving shit. You can create fake outrage as much as you desire, and you can just rev your way through life. And it's not the fact that he's doing it that's the problem, or that Rev's doing it that's the problem. The problem, Cheeto, is that we're not doing it. Might as well get in the mud, bro. Well, not you. You are way too pure for this, but I definitely should. Sorry, let me carry on. In relationship with Destiny, do people in the Internet Versus audience already know who Wick is? Probably not. As well as a quote retweet that showed 394 views. Irrelevant by Twitter standards, true. There's insufficient context, absolutely zero analysis, and a bunch of reading what feels like randomly selected replies/comment threads. Yeah, so aside from Cheeto being wildly homophobic towards the dude, that's his criticism of the content pattern, which is, you know, it's valuable criticism, slightly overshadowed by the other bit, but you know what? I think Cheeto's doing God's work. Darius and the kid weren't banned from what I heard. Darius should have been. Darius is a fucking strange child. What does rev your way through life mean? Revving your way through life means... do you know who Rev Says Desu is? Rev Says Desu makes 10 to 15 to 20 minute videos where he essentially finds tweets that fit his narrative that have like 2, 3, 4 likes to them at times. He blows them the fuck out of proportion and he pretends like that's the representation of the opposite side's view. So this would be like if I found the weirdest fucking creep that has Rev followed, who said some wildly unhinged shit with 3 likes, and then I made a video talking about how this is what Rev's community is like. So that's what we call revving it through life, because, well, that's what I started calling it, because the idea is that you can make low-effort, gloop shitto YouTube videos, because no matter how you want to manipulate information, you will always be able to find a 3 fucking likes, 7 views, unhinged tweet on Twitter that you can use to fulfill your agenda.
On here with this man in the background holding a MacBook, along with this picture of Hasan with Mackie and a article blurb about how Mackie is under police investigation for the threats. But Matthew Tracker replies, I don't believe so. I think that is Austin Wise, the finance director. I mean, this is the man that was in the suit with the MacBook, not Mackie. Yeet then posts this clip with the caption, Destiny accuses Hasan of making the boss call to kick him out of the College Democrats of America convention before Piker's speech.
Heads up, some kick streamers will be at the event today only because of your presence. Unclear what they're planning. Who are the kick streamers? Do you know? D and Darius? Is Darius still there? I got tickets. Fucking losers, man.
The weirdest thing is that he could have ambushed him so easily if he just wasn't talking about it. I don't understand these people, bro. Why does Hasan Piker looks like a Soviet commissar or whatever? He's wearing the Mao suit. Well, I don't know if he's wearing it here, but he was wearing it to the actual speech. It's very fucking strange.
Threats from Hasan.
Tell him.
Oh yeah.
I tried to be nice to him, man.
Yeah, this guy. Wait, did he post another tweet? I thought me and him were friends. We have one more way to get in.
He actually did. He actually like spam text. Like I was literally, I talked to security people. The guy showed me the text. It's retarded. He was just spamming.
He showed you the text of what?
Of Hasan spamming him. I don't know if it's Hasan or a guy from Hasan, but he literally said like the Hasan guy's like complaining about like, yo, there's these crazy kick live streamers coming out.
Hello, Steven.
You could have worn the exact thing that Hasan's dog uses and ran around in it.
I told him.
You could have been, she's the girl in the shot collar, and then when they pull her over, they would be.
There you go. I literally told him that, and they said like, nah, don't pay attention to yourself. I literally told him that. We should have been more Palestine signed up, honestly. But I talked to the guy earlier. He was giving me the same guy that was kicking you out. He was gonna give me a press pass.
The VP
Yes. He said he couldn't find it a press pass, but he said
should have been like, bro, I can't go Gaza. You should have told me you were Palestinian American.
Well, he's Palestinian. He's actually Palestinian. Radiant, go ahead and tell him, bro.
That was the first thing she asked before saying, do you guys have a press badge?
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Did he tell Radiant? Did Radiant tell you about the Hasan messages? They were like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you. I would pay money to get a copy.
I was like, he has a badge. And I don't want them to kick him out. But
Did
like,
he show you?
Yeah, he showed me the text.
Was it from Hasan?
I don't know if it was from Hasan or something. He just said like this is from.
so I was like, no.
first X, Matt, he wants to stand his ground and have the cops come.
They kicked out actual Democrats out of like a Democratic convention.
Asana B Productions, a fan account, and then also tweets out the clip from the beginning of the video of Destiny confronting the VP that we looked at earlier.
Chris, being honest, would you approach Hasan or Destiny in the fashion that people in the video are? Do you mean like just walking up to them and talking? I think that if I ever did that, you'd immediately recognize me, and then at that point, the entire anonymity side of things, that's fucked. If that concern wasn't present, I genuinely don't see why not. I think it'd be interesting at the very least. Plus, there's always questions you want to ask people like this, you know? Both like good faith questions, and both like sort of challenging questions.
With the caption, "Kick streamer Destiny got banned from the College Democrats of America convention after announcing he would harass Hasan Piker and his audience at the event." They then continue saying, "Damn, I wonder why they didn't want him there." And the post that we looked at earlier asking if it's open to the public, along with this message of Destiny saying, "Just as a heads up, I am going to be doing some mass harassment campaigns on every single journalist who gives this guy free interviews from now on." And then also showing him purchasing a ticket. And they continue, as he continues to crash out, Destiny mixes up the CDA finance director with an unrelated threat suspect, attaching the tweet we looked at earlier showing this guy here, and Destiny claiming that this is Mackie, and then comparing it to the finance director. Broken Carbs replies to the thread by saying he never announced he would harass Hasan, but I guess Hasan fans are known for spreading misinformation. And Anti-Popat replies with this tweet that Destiny posted saying, "You have a moral obligation to bully the fuck out of this guy if you ever see him in one of your protests. Don't let CCP paid agitators infiltrate liberal crowds of protesters. Make his presence as uncomfortable as possible until he's forced to pack up and fuck off back to his WeHo mansion." And Broken Carbs it says, "A college Democrat's speech is a protest? Or you can't read." And Nikes it says, "Stop acting like a smug Redditor, acting like you can't connect the dots." Hasan quote tweets the post by saying, "40-year-old pest with a child openly live streamed."
I was wondering when Hasan was typing this out if he was like just very, very angry and he was missing out some words in here. Because I'm used to hearing people say that Destiny is a sex pest with an abandoned child. But I'm not used to people saying that he's a pest with a child. You know what I mean? That's it's like we're missing words there.
Intent to harass a speaker at an event he wasn't invited to, fails to disrupt, proceeds to dox and slander the event organizers. Incredible work. Night's Kitten screenshots the post and replies to it by saying, "How do you even lie this much in like 2 sentences? No doxing occurred at all. Everyone was a public figure. It wasn't a live stream. No intent to harass Hasan or his fans at the events. You don't need to be invited. Destiny is also not 40. Hasan is 2 years younger than him." Over on r/leftoversh3, Own Trash also posts the Hasan B Productions fan account thread saying Kick streamer Destiny got banned from the College Democrats of America convention after announcing he would harass Hasan Piker and his audience at the event, and Calafir replies, beautiful. I love the instant course correct to is there anyone above you I can speak to? Banned by the National VP of College Democrats. And OP says, biggest Chad move, Lamau. And see-through Didgeridoo says, the little half-beat he left before kabooming with the I am the National Vice President. Fucking bars, son. Feelings Dier says, imagine dedicating your life to justifying the Democratic Party's atrocities, and they still shun you over the guy you're obsessed with. Must hurt, Lamau. And Dirty South says, true. The humiliation is just extra. Over on our Destiny, Sphinx Owl also posted about the situation, saying attendees of LibCon, members of Digital Ground Game, and Destiny himself were barred from the College Democrats of America's convention because of Hasan. And the post says this afternoon, multiple members of Digital Ground Game, Destiny, and multiple other creators were removed from the College Democrats of America's event after purchasing tickets because Hasan found out that they were going to be there. Irrespective of their actual intentions, Destiny was denied entry and multiple other people were hunted down by event staff and removed after orders directly from Hasan himself. Attaching the North is Live post along with the original video of the interaction with the VP, and the OP continues, the event itself, from my understanding, had no part in this. Hasan himself, as seen on live stream, found out that they were going to be attending and immediately called staff to have them removed. And OP attaches this post by Soybite, which is essentially just a compilation of all the stuff that we've watched before. It's them reacting to that Yeet post of Destiny accusing Hasan, and then the clip of the VP, along with the reaction of them all outside at the end. OP continues, there were no threats made.
I wish they had included the bits from Darius's stream where they are pretty openly talking about the fact that they're going to go in there to cause trouble, right? Because if for nothing else, then that just shows the fucking stupidity of that side of things, where Darius is live streaming how he's going to be a nuisance and how he's going to ask these uncomfortable questions, how he's going to be a problem there. And then Destiny's just walking alongside him. Like, if it's reasonable for you not want to let Darius into an environment like that, and Destiny seems to have attached himself to him for whatever reason, it's just so stupid.
No attempts to cause disruption. They were unceremoniously banned and removed without refund or explanation. Hasan needs to explain why he's backdooring his way into influencing banning of Democrats from attending a Democratic event without any abject threats coming his way. Then OP attaches this post by Owlish in reply to an unrelated post that Hasan made, where Owlish is asking, hey, are you out of your absolute fucking mind? You had an entire cohort of Democrats under Digital Ground G, the Omni-Liberal, and an entire liberal convention, and because you were afraid of being asked a few questions, you decided to bar them from the event? What is the logic? Are you so afraid of being asked questions you had to remove people who are actively moving the Democratic Party forward? We are going to need a statement, a massive explanation as to why you disrespected Destiny.
How much moving forward of the Democratic Party does Darius do? Darius is fucking brain dead, but he also went to Raoul's house after Raoul got doxxed, so unhinged. I didn't know he did that. Does not surprise me though. Darius is Darius is mental.
And members of Digital Ground G for your own ego, and barred them from attending an event meant to progress the Democratic message towards young and budding voters. And OP says to boost the post, we need answers. And Fertilize Me Goddess replies, it is kind of hilarious that Destiny is Voldemort to Hasan, and Hasan is constantly checking Destiny tweets and streams. And Oglafanda says,
it's still so incredibly dumb. Darius shouldn't have been kicked until he actually did something. Ultimately, a guy who said the Dems would have unleashed ice in Minnesota is killing Dems out of Dem events. I understand where you're coming from, Blog. I have several issues with that because that statement isn't. I feel like there are too many sorts of gates that you're leaving open that you cannot leave open. So for starters, it is absolutely not the case that they should have waited for him to do something before kicking him out. If I am an event organizer and you live stream that you intend to harass my invited speaker, and we can disagree on whether Hasan should have been there or shouldn't have, although it doesn't look like we have disagreement. Neither one of us likes Hasan. If you say that you intend to cause trouble at the event, you intend to cause shit, I don't have to wait for you to start causing shit. Those clips are enough for you to be barred. So that's the number one, right? Like Darius, there's no need to wait for Darius to do something. If he says he's going to do something, that's good enough to kick him out. Secondly, ultimately, a guy who said Dems would have unleashed ice in Minnesota is kicking Dems out of Dems events. I don't know how college Democrats of America. I don't know a lot about that organization. It's a student group. I don't know how centralized it is. I don't know what it really is in practice. I don't know how affiliated it is with Democrats versus something like DNC, for example, which is already going to cause caveats. For whatever reason, they invited Hasan on there. And we can talk about the fact that they shouldn't have done that because of the number of reasons why Hasan shouldn't really be welcome in democratic spaces. But ultimately, they made the decision as event organizers, which is their right, protected by a fucking constitution, to invite Hasan to do a speech. Now, that speech was insanely cringe. He wore insanely cringe clothing to it, and it feels like a lot of content to laugh at. But it is his right to wear that, his right to yap shit, their right to invite him, and their right not to let someone like Darius in. So ultimately, if they're not going to let Darius in, which is reasonable, and they're not going to let Destiny in, because to be fair, if you look at the shit that Destiny has said and or done, it's also reasonable to not let him in. I feel like the only criticism that we can focus on at that point is that Hasan shouldn't be a part of these kinds of events to begin with. But anything else falls flat. Like, I'm willing to accept the notion that neither one of them should be there. The fact that one of them is welcome and the other one isn't is giga cringe. But when you do a private event, you get to have some level of say on who the fuck shows up. CDA, College Dems of America, is an official arm of the DNC, though in practice they tend to skew further left, if not only because they're younger. So at the very least, there is a degree of official to it. Which means that it's fair to shit on the broader thing then. You do have to like Hasan, obviously, but where do you disagree? Can you rephrase that? Tweaked back. Also, hello.
Ironically suppressing free speech. Tuki89.
You don't have to like Hasan, but where do you disagree? Sorry, I'm still confused as to what you're asking. Where do I disagree with the fact that Destiny shouldn't have been kicked out? Is that what you mean? Well, or not allowed in, strictly speaking. Him causing shit is asking questions and criticisms, something that's going to happen anyway. Darius wasn't stating his intent to do terrorism. People likely did all that shit he was going to do anyway. I never said he stated his intent to do terrorism. No, Tweak, I'm happy to answer broad questions. I just get carried away with my thoughts sometimes because of my ADHD, and you just need to be more specific with like how you're asking me that. And I'll answer. I can take the time. That's perfectly fine, buddy. And also, we looked at the clips last night. His shit wasn't just wanting to ask questions, right? He was... His stream title was a little bit different. His intention was a little bit different. The way how he wanted to get in there was a little bit different, right? Like, I feel like, what was that? The very final clip, the one that's like, it's least important, but it's so fucking telling of the stupidity we're dealing with. The one at the very end, where Darius is whispering to his phone so that his mods hear him. And he tells them to start deleting the comments about Juice from his chat. Like, fuck me sideways, bro. What are we doing at that point? If Destiny was invited to give a speech and Hasan arrived with an entourage, given the impression they were maybe going to cause a scene, I would have no problem with Hasan getting banned. The difference is, realistically, I can't imagine Hasan engaging in that same sort of behavior. Hasan wouldn't have engaged in that same sort of behavior, but that's for an arguably much worse reason, Shido. That's where Destiny's at a decisive advantage, and ultimately always will be at a decisive advantage when it comes to these kinds of conversations. It shouldn't be like a hard pill to swallow or a hard bullet to bite. Ultimately, Hasan is afraid of debating Destiny, and Destiny is not afraid of debating Hasan. Now, we can argue whether Hasan has like a genuine reason for that, but Hasan is genuinely afraid of debating Destiny. So is Asmongold, right? That's why that trio has like the fucking weirdest game of telephone ever, because they're fucking terrified of Destiny. Now, we can talk about how Destiny's like debate style is probably antithetical to how they do their content, how Destiny's abrasive and rude and mean, and he's probably going to spurg out quite a lot. There's a lot to talk about in terms of how Destiny carries himself. but in that specific way, they're afraid of him. They just are. The only difference is no one really cares about Destiny, Hasan as a whole, as Brigade and his ass. I would say, honestly, Tweaked, I think that Destiny gets the right amount of people coming after him. Especially, I can't speak to the details of Snark, because that shit's confusing as fuck to me to keep, like, track of in my head. I've got good people keeping me up to date, and even they're struggling. But Destiny has a lot of people shitting on him. It's just, like, a different kind of shitting on him, you know what I mean? Isn't Destiny banned on Twitch currently? He is, Tweaked, but that's a whole fucking different can of worms. Because there is a... Actually, it's not a different can of worms. It's sort of a... It's probably closer to this than any other example we could bring up. Because here's the question that I've got, right? Destiny deserves, absolutely what Lua just said, Destiny deserves people shitting on him. And Hasan deserves people shitting on him. And Asmongold deserves people shitting on him. Now, currently, Destiny deserves the most shitting on him, arguably, on account of what's happening with his court case, on account of why he's being sued, over what, and the fact that you have to be a reprehensible fucking person to do the shit that he's doing. Why is Destiny, in my mind, if Destiny's going to be banned on Twitch, that's fine. Hasan and Asmongold have got to go too. If Hasan and Asmongold are allowed on the platform, Destiny probably should be too. I don't understand how Destiny is bad enough to be banned, but people like fucking Mike from PA literally put out a hit on him. Mike from PA literally put out a hit on him. But nobody takes it seriously because nobody takes Mike from PA seriously, which, to be fair, good reason for why that's the case. But that's allowed on the platform, and Destiny isn't. Asmongold is like a reprehensible, racist, roach fucking piece of shit, who's the shit that he's been saying, bro. Holy fuck. It is so many orders of magnitude worse than what Destiny was actually banned for. It's insane. But he's perfectly fine on the platform. Don't forget the other weird and unethical shit, sexual shit Destiny has done. And there is a long list. There is a long fucking list. And again, shitting on Destiny is a... If you're a good person, you have a moral obligation to shit on Destiny. That's just... I cannot find any reason why that wouldn't be the case. You would have to... I would genuinely be curious if anyone's able to present to me an angle where you don't... Like, not shitting on Destiny is like the reasonable route to take. You know what I mean? I just... Because all of the... Not on the obligation, it's a pleasure based. But the thing that I mean is Destiny's behavior with the sexual impropriety that he engaged in was not just destructive and deserves to, like, have him be shit on for doing it, but it also caused him to ruin, like, his entire, like, this media empire plan that he had in his head, right? The one that he was in the process of doing. So, like, if you want to shit on him for personal reasons, that seems like a very good avenue to take. And if you want to shit on him for professional reasons, that seems like a very good avenue to take. I don't know why you wouldn't. Mike from PA literally called Israelis a demonic ethnicity, and he is still on Twitch. Mike from PA is a weird fucking dude. But just to bring it back to what I was saying, in my mind, there is no way that Destiny's not allowed on the platform, and these two fucking idiots are. Actually, I'll put a caveat in there now, because this actually, I don't think that's true anymore. I was gonna say, prior to the case, the legal case, I would have probably maintained that. Now that we know that he remarked on Rose being underage several times, and then did the, haha, can you show me your ID? And she was like, haha, I will not show you my ID, ooh ooh. And then he continued receiving porn from her, off her, and then we found out Rose is in fact underage. Now there probably is a reason to keep him banned and not the other two. which is to do with the fact that you probably don't want nonce-adjacent people on your platform, right? Now, you can try to defend that because Rose was 17. If you want to do that, fucking knock yourself out. Just maybe do it somewhere else. You know what I mean? Dan threatens to dox Twitch staffers that weren't happy to give him shit on Hasan. That is also true. I don't know, bro. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Hasn't Hasan debated Destiny already? I don't think he's afraid. There's no reason for him to do it anymore. Then it's not worth it for him. He hasn't debated Destiny in like fucking years and years and years. The last time Hasan debated Destiny was back when Destiny wasn't banned on Twitch yet. Nowadays, they do the same shit that Asmongold does, which is that their debate is going to be watching clips of one another, then being angry that clips don't show you the full reaction and full context, and then watching more clips of one another. It's crazy. I remember watching OTK back before Asmon was a political streamer. It honestly baffles me when I compare Asmon to then to Asmon to now. Chris used to like Asmon. I did, yeah. I used to watch Asmongold back when, before he started talking politics, when he was just a weirdo fucking loser in his basement playing World of Warcraft. I used to like his content quite a lot, actually. I mean, they debated a long time ago. Yeah, but that was like a very, very long time ago. The convention is essentially a glorified pep rally. That's the intent. If you go in there itching to get into a debate or just to snark one of the keynote speaker, I don't know what to tell you. I don't get mad when I go to McDonald's and nothing's vegan. Shut up, Europeans. We don't have Mac plants here. Okay, side note. Put everything that we've been just talking about to the side. Do you not have vegan options in America in McDonald's? Like, for real, for real? I don't care about Hasan Asmongold and Destiny anymore. No, only at Burger King. The apple pie is vegan. That's the only... What the fuck? And you... Bitch, you live like that? We have we have vegetarian but vegan? Actually, to be fair, maybe we don't have vegan. We definitely have a lot of Do you have a lot of vegetarian options? I'm gonna Google. Okay, so apparently Polish McDonald's also doesn't have dedicated vegan main dishes. I was thinking vegetarian. Fries? Well, no, Cheeto just said that the fries aren't even vegan. Burger King has the plant Whopper, but Macca's does not have the fake meat. That is cringe. That is cringe, bro. I live in Poland and I have that shit. I'm like a year... Wait, here in Poland, we're like a year away from a vegan kebab. A Hasan plus Destiny debate would pull numbers, but in my eyes would delegitimize what Hasan does, because Destiny doesn't really seem to stand for anything other than the voice his own views. As to where Hasan tries to pull up candidates where they have some opposing views, doesn't matter as long as their strong points are that they're anti-APAC. No, I get that, and I agree with you. I mean, Hasan has been propping up a lot of the DNC people, right? And he's been doing a pretty good job as far as I can tell, anyway. I just think that Hasan, that's the thing. Both Hasan and Destiny, except that Destiny's fucking atrocious with his PR. Hasan is doing a good job. Hasan's got journalists supporting him. He's being invited to these events. He's being featured on a bit of telly, and he's doing all right-ish. Destiny's reputation is fucking torched, particularly since the lawsuit started, and for very fucking good reason. So Destiny would be able to pull up a lot of the unhinged shit that Hasan has said to damage him, and Hasan would be able to pull up a lot of the unhinged shit that Destiny has done to damage him, but Hasan being damaged that way would be infinitely worse for him than it would be for Destiny to be damaged that way, because Destiny's seemingly politically irrelevant. I don't know how much like fundraising, door knocking and all that bollocks DGG still gets up to, but at least in terms of the news cycle that I'm a part of, I see Hasan like be on the stage, be the speaker, do the thing, The Thing sometimes is giga retarded, by the way, but do The Thing, and Destiny just doesn't. How many months has... This is a question to the old DGGers, okay? This is like pre-lawsuit, pre all of this bollocks. Not to... When I say all of this bollocks, that was not... My intention was not to downplay the seriousness of the lawsuit. Destiny can go and fuck himself. He belongs on the sex offender registry. Way ages ago, do you guys remember when he was saying that he's gonna do the January 6th video? That was like almost 3 years ago now. He's been fucking hyping it up, talking about it, advertising it. It was going to be the video to take over YouTube to showcase how Donald Trump is the fucking, you know, the bad guy who was trying to do an insurrection and how we should not trust him with the power of our institution. That was never released. He went to Israel to do his media tour. 99% of the videos from that never released. Media empire plan that he had with Pisco, Lonerbox, the Bridges podcast, that went to shit because he did the thing that should put him on the sex offender registry. And it looks like Hasan, for all the bad shit that he's done, he is significantly better with his PR. Is the shit you put in kebab instead of meat? What do you mean for the vegan kebab? Oh, I mean falafel exists, mate. I mean a vegan kebab, okay? Proper vegan kebab. We used to have fish options in McDonald's that, funny enough, have proven not to be made from fish, but I don't think it survived the times. The UK had a fish burger as well on the Savers menu. I fucking loved it. Oh god, what a good burger that was. Oh, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep knowing I will never taste that again. Fucking grim. How could you do that to me, Aminax? How could you just remind me of that? Let's be honest, Hasan is taking politics seriously. Destiny is working with Darius. True. True. He's going to change the election, guys. Yeah, he kept hyping it up and it never came. And I wanted it to come. I wanted to watch that video. In a landscape where there is really no one you can trust, especially the president, social security nets, etc., you have to lean on what's actually trying to change the landscape for the, so to say, a better regardless. I mean, the press, what's the no new wars, no... very chaotic way of typing, but I love it, okay? Keep the paragraph posting comment. That is not sarcastic. I'm genuinely enjoying your input. I agree with you. Pragmatically speaking, that's the weird fucking thing, because Destiny used to be the vote blue no matter who. Wick used to be the vote blue no matter who. And now there's a little asterisk in there, because the who is a little bit too socialisty for their taste. I like Mamdani. He's endorsed one person who is a fucking lunatic, and I will mention that whenever I have a chance to, because it's a worthwhile input. And plus also, I want you to be aware of how much it bothers the fuck out of me. But it looks like his two other endorsements are fine. Looks like what he's actually doing is fine. He's been... I really liked... Now, virtue signaling is probably... Alua, by the way, I was thinking more about our conversation in Discord. Virtue signaling probably is what it was when Mamdani said that he's going to put Netanyahu in handcuffs, but I love to see it anyway. Because you know what? It is virtue signaling, but my virtue was signaled just right with that one. I like to see politicians shit on Netanyahu. I'll fucking take it. I will take it. Razemki are the only people here in Poland, is the only political party that has condemned and described as war criminals both Putin and Netanyahu, and it's fucking based. Love to see it. Filet-o-fish, that was what I ate there in before times. Yes, Chido, filet-o-fish. Do you know what we should do, Chido? You and me should meet. You can fly out to Poland, and we will make a homemade filet-o-fish, Chido, and we will eat it, and then you can fly back to America. We will not speak to one another during this, but we will eat a McDonald's filet-o-fish in the year of our Lord 2026. He can't do it because of city laws. Oh, he can't do it 100%. And I'm sure he knew that he can't do it when he said it. That's why I'm saying that he absolutely was virtue signaling. I made my peace with that now. I thought it was like too harsh of a way to describe it. But no, that's exactly what it was. But I want him to virtue signal on that one. Do you live in the UK? If so, what were your thoughts on the Hasan ban? I do not live in the UK, but I can still share my thoughts on the Hasan ban. I'm not particularly bothered about the fact that he was banned. I'm not entirely sure why that happened, but it wasn't... If it was just Hasan and that was it, then I would have felt some type of way about that very strongly, because that's fucking weird. But they banned... there was a Polish politician that they banned. They didn't let a Polish extremist politician into the UK either. It looked like they had somebody look through sort of like how extreme is this person, and if you met a certain criteria, you were banned. So that hit the Polish politician, that hit Hasan, that hit Cenk Uygur. It looks like a whole bunch of people got banned from entering the UK when that happened. And it looks like there was some kind of like a thought process to it. You know what I mean? It was hitting people on the left and on the right. So I'm not that fussed about it, because the country has a right to refuse someone in. I've never looked into what the reasoning provided was. And yes, I do not live in the UK anymore.
Says, sounds like the president really shouldn't trust the VP with everything, or whatever the fuck he said when Destiny asked to speak with them. Absolutely no reason to bar Democrats from speaking, especially important ones who are some of the biggest weapons we have against the right. The starstruck losers are turning everything into a vibe contest, and it's nauseating. Everybody has to maintain their echo chambers so they can safely brainwash their herds. And Emo Sao says, not only is Destiny an important weapon, he literally represents like 60% of Dim voters, and has an active fan base of hundreds of thousands of Dim voters. Libs are straight up getting DC/Puerto Rico levels of representation. He'd also post this clip with the caption, Hasan comments on Destiny getting kicked out of the College Democrats of America convention, and calls him out for mislabeling a member. Destiny had said it was a previous Hasan fan who got arrested for bomb threats.
It is very funny to see a guy who like...
That fucking Mao suit, bro. Oh, we should talk about the Evan loves Wolf tweets, shouldn't we?
Openly was like, I'm gonna go to this convention. Guy who openly is like, I'm gonna go to the fucking I'm gonna go to an event I wasn't invited to deliberately harass the fucking convention keynote speaker. Easy as no contact order approval, all this evidence, man. Get one and he can never talk about you again. End this harassment for good already. I
wish Grinding Noob did not give quasi-legal advice. I don't like it when people do this. He's not good. You are not correct.
If you're still in contact with the CDA, you should give them a heads up that the finance director you crossed paths with is now being targeted by the sex pest. Yeah, he knows. It's just crazy because that's like...
I remember reading something similar blog. I just don't remember the details.
Because it's like Democrat in the name, he thought like, oh no, this will be fine. I can just like go out and fucking openly openly talk about how I'm going to agitate and how I'm going to disrupt the fucking event that, you know, college Democrats have put together, this national convention. Bro, there's something so strange about like openly filming yourself wanting to you know, thwart an event put together that you were not invited to because you hate the person that they invited, and then just being fucking ass mad the entire time, you know, making this up. Destiny claims the College Democrats of America convention let Janet Maki, a guy who was arrested for making bomb threats, but it wasn't Jarrett Maki in the picture he posted. It was Austin Wise, the finance director of the College Democrats of America. Yet another failed attempt. The funny thing is the College Dems let in Jarrett Maki, the same guy who got a guided tour to Hasan in Michigan, the same guy who was later arrested for making bomb threats. Dude,
I do Tweaked. Yeah, we cover VTuber drama a decent amount on the channel. I have done a number of videos on it, but I'm kind of not making many videos lately. It's mostly just live streams. So yeah, we do a decent amount of VTuber coverage. As a side note, because we're an hour into the stream, if you guys are liking the content so far, I highly encourage you to follow, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And if you want to be notified of any of my content in the near future, I've just linked my Discord, jumping in there. There's a whole bunch of cool people. You'll enjoy your stay, I'm sure.
What the fuck is going on, man? This guy's such a fucking... Dude. You can't do this, man. You cannot fucking do this. This is Laura Loomer behavior, dude. What the fuck? dude, what a fucking disgusting, toxic, insane fucking community. Just
Oh my god, I agree with him 100% to be clear. Fuck me. Okay, I don't want to be both sides in this, because that is fucking stupid. What was that tweet that Nicandros got Hasan to delete? The one where Hasan has mistaken one person for another and accused them of something that they haven't done. Do you guys know what I'm yapping about? I do not remember the details though, so it's hard for me to do a comparison.
so desperate, so odious,
I'll see if I can
straight up
find it.
fucking racist behavior, dude. Jesus Christ.
Leaflet. No,
Who
it wasn't
fucking
Leaflet.
behaves like this?
Leaflet's a fucking idiot.
Centrists are defending Pestiny too. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, this one that I'll never get is from Kick. They go by Leaflet. I still to this day don't get it, like where they align. Oh, Leaflet's a fucking lunatic. Remind me as soon as this video is done, because I don't want to be pausing it and going off topic too much. As soon as this video is done, remind me to talk to you about Leaflet. I'll tell you exactly where Leaflet falls on the broader political spectrum.
Yeah, this guy went. So this is who we're platforming Young Dems after all this attacks against the party, after all this disgusting rhetoric, and barring someone like Omni Liberal, who's been actively organizing and canvassing for Democrats at his behest. Pathetic behavior. This is, how is this in any way, shape, or form?
Thank you for the follow.
Like normal behavior. I genuinely assume that like people are not going to be so side-cucked. They're not going to be so biased that they just like refuse to see when someone.
Shit, is Nicandros' Twitter gone? He deleted Twitter some time ago. Shit, I did not know that. Oh, that's going to be basically impossible for me to find a tweet now. Ah, shit.
Is like doing something that is worthy of a restraining order. Like actively. Yeah, this isn't just like cyber harassment either. This is like straight up slandering people that are associated, cyberbullying them, cyber stalking me, and then stalking me in real life. I mean, what are we doing?
Smaggledaggle replies, "It's kind of poetic that if Destiny just didn't announce to the world he was going, he would have been let in. Utter retard."
True.
Destiny quote tweets the clip by saying, "Can't wait for my current frivolous political lawsuit to be over so I can start firing CND at this guy on Twitch for constantly lying about and smearing me." Not Chronic Sonic tweets out, "Why was Destiny kicked out of the CDA? Destiny," and then attaches a message from 2025, August the 17th, where he says, "I honestly think you could perfectly justify attacking/killing Hasan IRL for statements like this." And Rayforce replies, "By the way, the linked video. Context is Hasan lost his biggest podcast partner ever because him and his chat were unbelievably anti-Semitic. In the video, Hasan is telling his chat it's okay to murder the wife of the podcaster he was beefing with, H2H Productions' wife, Ela Klein."
Hey,
Matter if they're
Johnson,
DFLP,
how you
PFLP,
doing,
or
buddy?
even former Fatah militants. Okay? It is perfectly legal, perfectly valid, and perfectly moral.
That makes sense,
Okay.
Law and Error. Yeah, it's
100%. This is not like a this is not a gray area. This is black and white. Okay? It doesn't get more black and white than this. Israel's in the wrong. Israel is actually engaging in an apartheid, which is a crime in and of itself. Israel's doing a genocide in Gaza and an apartheid in the West Bank. Two crimes in and of itself. And every every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's
because
your favorite.
Hila was in the IDF at the time. I remember this. Hasan's not wrong on anything he says regarding your ability to, like, your moral sort of position of self-defense. Specifically bringing Hila into this was so bizarre.
Favorite podcasters like wife that participate in these Israelis. Doesn't matter if
Spider DX109 tweets out this clip with the caption, XQC reacts to why was Destiny kicked out of the CDA, condemns Destiny's comment and says he understands Hasan's perspective.
Interesting.
I think we know what he means though, Johnson, you know?
Okay, apparently there's some context. This is why apparently. This just says it. I mean, I mean, it's a pretty awful comment. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty egregious. That's like that's not even close to okay. That's way out of line. I mean, that'd be enough justification for me. If I was a staff at the event and somebody, if I was a staff at the event and I was unbiased when it comes down to Hasan or anybody, and somebody showed me that, I mean, I would absolutely ban the person who said that. That's like, come on, bro, really? The
TLDR Bean says that he's saying that if he was the organizer, he also wouldn't let him in. That was a very stupid thing of Destiny to say, and it makes sense why he wasn't allowed.
Outrageous comment. What?
What's the location of
That's
your
my unbiased take.
my parents' house?
And that's his
Destiny
unbiased
also
take.
tweets out of the same clip of Hasan talking about Ela Klein and saying, I don't know why XQC of all people would look at a single chat log and try to determine anything. I am responding to Hasan justifying to his fans why murdering Ela is justifiable, and that you could use his stupid logic on anyone, including him. This is literally the MAGA versus Lib disavow the violence on one side all over again. And Neo replies, you are purposely ignoring the context of Ela Klein participating in military raids with the IDF, something Hasan has never done for any military, so you absolutely could not justify killing him in the same way.
Yeah, I was the secretary of the head of the, there's like I don't know the terms in English from the army.
Right, he was an officer.
So there was I was in Dukhifat, which is like a brigade, I guess, that's in charge of the area of Ramallah. And that brigade has like a main officer. So I was his secretary.
Okay, so you were right below the big boy. Cool.
So it was nice. It was interesting. It was more demanding in a way, but also kind of more rewarding because you're put in this weird situation where you're like, you're away from your house. You have this new group of people that you have to get along with. And it's hard to explain, but for some reason it was more interesting. I enjoyed it more.
You told me once you went on like a mission with them to like a terrorist city.
Yeah.
That was kind of a crazy story.
Yeah, so my officers and like the soldiers in that brigade, they would go every night on a raid in Ramallah to arrest terrorists. And so I always saw them preparing for it and leaving, and then I would stay in the base. So one time I wanted to go with them just to experience it.
Why, you just were all of a sudden had an urge to go with them?
I just wanted to see what it's like. I wanted to see it.
Okay.
And Jack replies, so if someone was in the military during a time the military was in conflict, that someone can now be killed at any time in the future? And Neo says no, and that's not what he was saying. And then attaches a quote where he says every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcaster's wife that participated in these raids. It sounds to me like he's exclusively referring to her in her IDF capacity. Asanabi Productions
there was no need to refer to her at all. It's the thing. That's the thing that it was just so fucking strange. But then again, these people live off of the controversy. They thrive off of it.
Account also then tweets out this clip with the caption, in a deranged rant, Destiny doubled down on stalking Hasan's live location while advocating for him to get harassed in public.
His location should be publicly available at all times while he's live streaming. This is him and his cult.
I just want to clarify what I was saying here, because it sounds like I'm saying that his like live location or whatever should be broadcast or whatever was at protest. That is exactly what I'm saying, and it should be. And he should be bullied. People should scream at him and shout at him and bully him the fuck out of any left-leaning protest that you see. The CCP paid agitator fuck should never be in any democratic liberal protest ever. If he wants to go hang out.
Why is he not allowed at the event, guys? Why is Destiny not allowed in there? You know, it's... Somebody's gonna have to explain that to me.
Out with the disgusting, smelly, fat fucking losers, the tanky fucks or whatever, he can go hang out with those fucking losers. That's absolutely fine. But until he has made a public statement that fully accounts for how he was compensated by the Chinese Communist Party for his little fucking paid vacation trip with him and the rest of his little streamer fucks to China, until he has publicly announced it, addressed that, and talked about it, I have no idea why the fuck you would want this guy anywhere near any of your liberal protests. Absolutely fucking out. One of the hugest issues that this country has right now is all of the foreign interference that is just happening openly on all of our social media platforms by the same countries that paid this fucking loser to go and do a shill who couldn't even go through with it. He couldn't even let the guy his neck, okay, at the stupid chiropractic place because he knew how bullshit the stuff that he was promoting was, but he was getting paid
to be fair, Now, Hasan's entire trip to China is giga fucking pathetic, and if you want to spit on Hasan for taking part in all of that, I think that is also a morally good thing to do. I am so happy that he did not do that fucking neck-snapping chiropractor shit. Dude, chiropractors can get fucked. Especially the ones who are doing this whole like, well, you don't need actual modern medicine. I can just do the bony snappy just the right way, and you will be perfectly healthy from now until the day you die, which is going to be today, actually, as soon as I've snapped your neck. It's just fucking insane.
Too much, compensated too much by the Chinese government to say no. Okay, so fuck this guy. Fuck letting him anywhere near your protest. If you want to go hang out with Republicans, go to the dangerous places and get shot, motherfucker. Okay, all of us will clap for you, I promise. All right, go to the Republican places, go to the edgy places, go hang out with tankies or whatever, but stay the fuck away from liberal protests. This fat loser motherfucker, this balding, graying piece of shit, to show up at a liberal protest for 6 hours, you can come and finger wave and virtue signal to everybody else that you do shit, that you matter. You don't matter. Nobody likes you. I didn't want to reveal this, but the reason why I've been off stream so much is I actually gang with my close personal friend. I'll just say his last name is Mamdani, and he says that him and his wife talk shit about Hasan all the time, 24/7. All we do is we queue up Arc Raiders and we run around the lobbies. We just talk shit about Hasan constantly. They say they hate him, that he's a loser, that his hair is falling out, that he needs to up his TRT, he's small, his lifts suck, his dog isn't in the background anymore. He just, everything about him is horrible, and he's a fucking loser. Okay, so yeah.
Male Slayer.
He's so fucking weird, man. He really, really is. And the thing is, this is so fucking strange to me that, like, I feel like at least fucking 7 out of 10 insults there must have been some form of projection, right? Because it's strange. It just really is. It's the same kind of, it's the same type of projection that makes Hasan attack Destiny for his age when Destiny's 2 years older than him. Like, what are you two doing, you fucking idiots? That was just an uncomfortable watch. That was just uncomfortable.
Quote tweets the Hasanabi Productions account and the Destiny clip with this screenshot in the caption. The real reason why Destiny hates Hasan is because Hasan rejected his ugly ass years ago. Destiny now resorts to making up homosexual fanfictions about him to fulfill his perverted desires. I'd be scared if I were Hasan too. And it is Destiny saying, Lamau, is Hasan actually talking about me? This is back in 2025. And Destiny says he's obsessed. Fuck, I feel bad for doing this because it's kind of anti-LGBT. And I don't like to leak stuff like this. But the huge drama I couldn't talk about from 6 years ago is when I started spending more time with another girl. She wasn't comfortable with me letting Hasan give me that sloppy turkey toppy anymore. After that point, our relationship basically completely disintegrates. And Andos replies, sloppy turkey toppy. The amount of obvious over-the-top lazy bait you guys fall for is genuinely astonishing. There's also this clip of Hasan Piker's speech that started making the rounds. Shannon Watts posted this clip with the caption, dressed like Mao and talking about—
tell your dad happy birthday from me and the entire chat. Tell Papa Testicle we all love him.
About how much he hates the majority of the Democrats as an invited guest of college Dems. Our party having a normal one.
No more to Trumpism, but no more to the Democrats who compromise, who conciliate, and who betray us. No more to the fascist reactionaries, but no more to the Democrats who will collaborate and cooperate with the fascists, who will fund ICE, who will fund Israel, who will help poison the planet, who will stiff workers and help bosses. We don't need those Democrats anymore. In fact, we have a message. We are coming. We are unbossed, we're unbought, we're unbound, and we will become undeniable. Thank you.
This could have gone so hard if he wasn't reading from a script. If he waved his arms about and he brought proper energy into this would have gone so hard. Particularly when your audience is a bunch of like college kids who are already prone to be giga far left. You can get proper cult energy going on. But this was rough to watch. Is that the energy that was expected? Probably not, Amanax, but who fucking knows nowadays? This whole thing is just... You know? Just
Now, this topic has sparked a whole discussion in and of itself, so let us know if you want us to cover all the discourse around this clip in another video. But for the sake of this video, we'll just keep it brief. That's the clip there, and the drama continues on the Livestream Fail subreddit when the mole DGAF posts this clip with a caption after the entire event saying, Hasan is considering getting a restraining order on Destiny.
No, actually, as long as we can cyberstalk and try to fucking engage in mass harassment operations against Hasan, our North Star, then it's fine. We'll overlook all of the moral failings of this person whose cult we're a part of. It's very weird. It's very weird behavior. And they've done it to so many different people. They did it to like Twitch staff, and Epstein still doesn't fucking understand why, after doing this directly to Twitch staff, that like Twitch would never want to unban them ever again.
Suit still goes hard, can't fault us because our history class never taught us of Mao. This is, if these young people are as left-leaning as I assume they are, based on the sort of surrounding context of this, they absolutely know what that suit represents. It's cringe as fuck. He's just so unbelievably cringe. I mean, Hasan got it. As far as I understand it, Hasan got it during his CCP-sponsored trip to China.
Actually, just mentally ill behavior. And I do think that it is coming to a point where maybe a restraining order is in order. Honestly.
And Anemo1212 replies, I think dressing up as Mao and giving a weird dictator-like speech is weird behavior, but maybe that's just me. And Shinryu says, Hasan is the real-life case of Soups and the Boys, wearing costumes and being petrified at the thought of someone who can bring him down from his little Twitch politics. Pretends to talk about doing business with Singapore just so he prays to God the authority stops more Pegasus YouTube videos. And now pretends to talk about restraining...
That more Pegasus YouTube Singapore thingamajig, that's such a fucking nothing burger to my understanding. God, Hasan's biggest actual fucking strength is the fact that his ops are genuinely fucking stupid.
Order and make himself look like a victim, lol. A coward and nepo baby. Honest, dishonest work says, genuine question, how can you be so soft that you want a literal restraining to avoid debates, but also advocate for a violent revolution? And Pop International says, well, you see here, he won't be doing the violent revolution. The poor dumbasses who follow him will. And Adal123DA2313123D says, it's funny because history tells us what the real revolutionaries do to the talkers like Hasan once it's all said and done. Mechanism says, he's so performative. Just wear the jersey like a regular human being. You don't need to wear a suit in your bedroom. And Santhon says, shoe on head broke this man commenting on his apparel. And Infinite Externals replies, a dude got called out for his looks once and changed his entire appearance for life. It's crazy how effective she is at getting to him by barely doing anything. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives, Akiko, Salsaud.
No shout out to his tier 3 members. Shout out to my tier 3 members, or tier 1 members. I do not know which one is the $5 one, but if we could see some of those today, chat, I would be very appreciative. If you have Amazon Prime, use your Prime subby on yours truly. If you're not a member on YouTube, join that membership. If you're not subscribed on Twitch, become subscribed on Twitch. Don't think of the $5 that you will lose. Don't think of the $250 that I will gain. Think of the $250 that we can give to Jeff Bezos. Because that is truly why I'm here. Is this channel supposed to be like an unbiased reporting, or is there a discernible bias? I think the angle is kind of unbiased because he's just reading internet comments, but I don't think you can get an unbiased angle into this drama. I just don't know if it's possible I don't know if it's possible, Beans. Or rather, I should say, I know it isn't possible. $6? What, did it go up in price? Shithouse. $6. Hey, Amanax giving a tier 1 sub to Tweaked back. 38 subs to date. Let's fucking go. Tweaked, congratulations. Amanax, thank you, love. That is very kind of you. Leaflet. Yeah, Leaflet is a fucking lunatic, my guy. Leaflet is a right-winger who desperately sort of claws at the kind of attention that if she ever got, she wouldn't be able to handle. She's a genuinely fucking bizarre weirdo. If you haven't watched my videos on Leaflet, which I'm assuming you haven't because you've only just joined us today, I would encourage you to. And once you're done with my videos on Leaflet, there is another creator who has done an entire series called Harmful Opinions. He's done a... But are they worse than Nux? Oh, no, not even close, Tweaks. No. Nux is... Of most people I talk about, Leaflet's like the least bad. But the thing is that Leaflet is very pathetic, and that cannot go understated. Leaflet is 40 years old, and when she gets into a drama that genuinely gets to her, which is almost any kind of drama that she's forced to respond to, she starts acting like fucking, like she's Elle from Death Note, talking about how she's got a special notebook with the names of all those who wronged her, and it will eventually be her turn to get vengeance on all of them. She is fucking crazy. And usually, the fact that somebody's on the older side doesn't fucking matter. Half my community is in their 40s. I couldn't care less. That doesn't make your opinions any less valid. But when you're in your 40s, and you do the kind of content that Leaflet does for the kind of people that Leaflet does, and you can't handle criticism, and fuck me, bro. And your age is supposed to be an indication of some level of lived experience, and for her, it's pathetic. Do you remember the drama she got into with her Discord server where she let minors into her 18+ Discord server to combat trans people? Yeah, that's what the Harmful Opinion video series is about. Essentially, Leaflet's Discord server was not 18+, and it was not 18+ by design. It wasn't a mistake in the rules, that was on purpose. Leaflet's Discord also had 18+ spaces, so once they were done with their little Bible review, they would start talking about porn, as one does. And one of Leaflet's close associates was talking about this weird dichotomy and said that apparently the reason for why that's the case is because Leaflet has decided that all of those bad trans people out there, they are grooming children. So what Leaflet will do is allow under 18s into her Discord so that she can teach them not to get groomed by trans people, which is a roundabout way of saying that she wanted to groom them or had a plan of them being groomed, which is why it brings us back to the exact same thing that was the case with Nux, which is that none of these people have an issue with grooming, they just want to groom children first. It's usually when you get this weirdo VTuber right-wing perspective, particularly from people like Nuxtaku, and they talk to you about how bad the trans groomers are, they don't have an issue with trans people who groom children because they're grooming children. They have an issue with trans people who groom children because they beat them to the punch. Assuming that there even are any trans people that groom children that they can even point to, because 90% of the time you get a specific name from them, that's not what's happening at all. And you cannot confront any of them about it because they are fucking terrified of confrontation. I remember watching a YouTube video a while back of a teenager getting into politics early on, but had a promising career on YouTube, but went on the far right way too fast. And Keemstar at one point shouted her out. Shit went downhill from there. Can't remember the channel name for the life of me. I don't know the channel name either, but if Keemstar's giving you a shout out, you might want to revisit your content direction, because Keemstar is a freakazoid. Frankly, most content creators are absolute fucking weirdos. It is a bit rough in that regard. Said associate is Mama Oko, who is also pathetic. Also true. Yes. But no, to reiterate what I've already said, Leaflet is not quite, not Nux's level of, I will facilitate child grooming as long as everyone gives me $1. Nux is uniquely fucking, like, just fucked in the head in that regard. That second part is probably closer to the truth, Tweaked, yeah. Keem was always a bad actor, it just wasn't so apparent back then, because YouTube was a wild place back then. We've got a Channel 5 video on... we've got a Himpleton video on Channel 5. We have the Warhammer video. I'm curious about the Warhammer video. There's also the Channel 5 thing that I'm curious about. Chido, darling, are you still here in chat by chance? Because for the Channel 5 stuff, you're like you're way more red in it than I am. I just want to double check, Chido, if you are still here in case I have any questions as we progress. But I don't know if Chido's here. Might not be. Chido hates me. Oh, Chido is here. Oh yeah, Chido. Just a quick one. Would you like me if I was a worm? He fell for it again, chat. He fell for it again. He fell for it again. Oh, hit him with a classic. Oh. Oh no, refreshing, I'm slightly behind. I'm sorry, Chido. Did you hear my question? Or did you not hear my question? I didn't realize you were slightly behind. He's pretending, chat. He's pretending. He got absolutely fucking wrecked. He's gonna punch himself like in the shower today. I'm telling you. Absolutely annihilated. Oh god. Honestly, if someone would ask me that question, best I can do is let you out into the wilderness. Nah. Do you have set videos beforehand, and when the playlist ends, so does the stream? Not quite, Tweaked, no. I stream 2 days a week. Currently, those are Thursday and Friday, and usually... I can't remember the last time I've done a stream where we've watched all of the videos prepared for the day. In my Discord, there are 2 channels. One's called Content On Stream and one's called Content Off Stream. I usually pick a fill of videos that tickle my pickle just right for the given day, and then we watch and review those. Anyone's able to use those channels, the Content On and Off Stream. Those are recommendation channels, so if you've got anything you want me to cover, then by all means, just throw it up there. And usually with ending the stream, we usually end it before we go through all of the videos. Because I have a 9 to 5, so usually by the time we're like 3-ish hours in, I'm getting pretty EP. This reminds me of a funny Coco TTS about becoming a worm. Warhammer and politics.
I'm Haywo and I make Age of Sigmar content.
Age of Sigmar, let's go. Age of Sigmar is the best. Chido, we listen now, okay? Age of Sigmar is what you and I will play on our deathbed.
I'll read it to you. With the coming of 4th edition, and some of you may be able to pick up what I'm putting down as you listen, it's story time.
On that Discord, will we be notified if a video has been watched already? Do you mean if I have watched it, let's say you recommend something on Wednesday and I watch it on Thursday, and then if you're notified? Or more if somebody's going to tell you that I've already reacted to it? Because if you mean the latter, then probably yeah. Because people usually remember what I've watched.
The year is 1993.
It is Haywo.
Bitterly cold winds with temperatures approaching -30 degrees and 12 inches of snowfall. January in Wisconsin brought the white that had been missing from last month's Christmas. Czechoslovakia, on the back of the Velvet Divorce from '89, and a great deal of other factors besides, dissolves into Slovakia and Czechia. William Jefferson Clinton, or Slick Willie as he would later be unaffectionately known, would take the oath as 42nd President of the United States, making Bush, that would be Herbert Walker Bush the Elder, one-term president. Read my lips, no new taxes. And then making new taxes may just have cost him the win. Hat tip Pat Buchanan, the Clinton campaign for dogging him on it. The conservative billionaire Ross Perot also split the Republican ticket in a sense, running as an independent. Many believed spoiled the election for Bush, although later analysis seems to indicate that not quite being the case. In February, terrorist Razmi Youssef and his co-conspirators parked their van loaded with a 1,200-pound urea nitrate bomb. Level B2 of the World Trade Center's parking garage detonated it. Despite leaving a hole 150 feet wide and several stories deep under the building, it did not collapse as they had hoped. though it did kill 6 and injure thousands. They were sentenced to 240 years each in prison and are still there today. Clinton caves and compromises on the military's homosexual ban. Charles Moskos would later coin it, "Don't ask, don't tell." U.S. federal government, Texas state law enforcement officials lay siege to David Koresh's child bride-taking and armed-to-the-teeth religious cult compound in Waco, Texas. 2 police officers convicted in Los Angeles on civil rights charges for the Rodney King police beating. He signed the North American Free Trade Agreement, whose tariff-free imports from Mexico and Canada of grocery and agribusiness products and oil, respectively, lowered prices where it generally hit consumers the hardest: food and gas. Short-term job losses and outsourcing would be the cost paid for NAFTA's mainly positive economic impact. Oh, Israeli-Palestine Accord is reached.
What are we watching?
Sure,
We are watching a video called The Year is 1993. This is a recommendation by Leonard, and this is going to, at some point soon, I'm hoping, not that I mind listening to, this is just we're 20% into the video, going to discuss Age of Sigmar and politics. Warhammer and politics, I should say.
It'll work out. And I gotta cut it off somewhere, but just for one last sense of scale, Ruth Bader Ginsburg pointed to the Supreme Court. The year is 1993. You're a kid. All that other stuff is vague, fuzzy back.
That's also not true. If the year is 1993, I'm not a kid. I'm fucking dead. It's not a thing. I do not exist yet.
Background noise. Your dad puts on the black and fake wood pattern radio on the kitchen counter. You're trying to watch Ninja Turtles. Eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The one that came with the crazy straw in the box that year. You know the one. To you, it's a snow day, and gaming has never been better. This year, 2 random, mostly unknown 20-somethings. 1, a proud Cherokee and Mexican-American young man with big dreams, and 2, a socially awkward white kid of staggering intellect, would make a video game. John Romero and John Carmack released the original Doom on 4 floppy disks, or 2 for the shareware version that you probably had. Your 486 with 4 megabytes of RAM struggled to handle it. It was amazing. Changed everything. Super Street Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter, Myst, NBA Jam, Disney's Aladdin, Day of the Tentacle, Mega Man X, Ridge Racer, Sonic CD, and more all came out this year. Richard Garfield, out of the University of Pennsylvania, would release the alpha version of his brand new card game, Magic the Gathering, this year. And across the pond, a little hobby company called Games Workshop would offer up for sale a brand new Skaven model in metal, Lord Skrolk, now known as a plague priest. This
Yo, it all started with the rats. It all started with the rats, Lord Skrolk. Oh, he's an ugly motherfucker. My wife would like this, though. She proper fucking loves Skaven. I don't even know what it is about Skaven. Skaven and Nurgle are like her go-to army, and I feel like that tells me a lot about her personality, but it's like, we're already married, you know what I mean? Like, it's too late. It's too late.
Metal model. Released in the year of our Lord 1993, 31 years ago, is still for sale today. This little rat, born into all I mentioned at the onset, would go on to watch the rise of 3D graphics, nearly the whole progression of the internet, the death of cassette tapes and VHS, the birth and death of CDs, DVDs, the rise and fall of AOL, Yahoo, the browser wars, and the dot-com crash. He watched cell phones take off, the towers fall, the princess and the queen die. The first black president, Brexit, even the game he was made for, he watched decline and die. He outlived his own game by almost a decade. Still, he soldiered on into this new one 9 years ago with Age of Sigmar. And, at long last, with the announcement for the refresh of the Skaven line and the coming of 4th edition, Age of Sigmar, he may finally rest. Lord Skrolk, aka Plague Priest, for sale 1993 to 2024.
Are these still available? kind of wanna get one. They stopped selling in 2024. There are hobby spaces though. Maybe one of the hobby spaces has it, right? You can find it on eBay. Most probably, my friend. I'm kind of curious. What's the name of the model? Not Lord Skrog, the other one. Plague Priest? I will look for it later. I will say that seems like if you've got like a friend or someone who likes Warhammer, getting them a model like this is, I feel like that's a really fucking cool gift, you know? Like you, Leonard, for example. If it was like your birthday or some shit and somebody got you a Lord Skrolk, you'd fucking love it, wouldn't you? You'd get a proper half-chub immediately. What did he mean by he outlived his own game? He was referring to Lord Skrolk, I believe. In Warhammer Chido, when they refresh certain models or they want to take the game in a different direction in like the next sort of next edition, so a couple of years later, they will do this thing where they will assign some models to legends. And the way Legends works is it means that those go onto a different category where if agreed upon, you can still play them, but they will no longer be supported. They will no longer have updated battle scrolls. They will no longer be considered part of the main game. It's like a graveyard, essentially, for all of the old models from like 30-ish years ago, or sometimes fewer years ago if they take it in a very like rapid different direction. He outlived because he's a model for the original Warhammer, Old World, and Old World got fucking blown into pieces and remade into Age of Sigmar. He's also outlived the entire setting, as in the setting chronologically in lore is no longer in existence. So it's not an Age of Sigmar character? I thought that was the game he was talking about. Not an Age of Sigmar character specifically, no, but Age of Sigmar is the continuation of the Old World. It's when Old World blew up, it became Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is just to give you like a very quick TLDR on the lore, essentially, I'm not going to tell you anything about how it happened, but the Old World blows up, it is the end, but certain people, certain gods, and entities, I should say, have survived the blowing up of the world. The ones that kind of don't need to be tethered to like the material plane, if you will. Sigmar, the god of humanity, was one of them, and Sigmar decided to band together with other gods of order for the purpose of creating, once again, in his case, creating warriors that would be able to stop chaos, so that the other world that they have now started living in doesn't get fucking blown up by Archaon again. And it's just called Age of Sigmar because Games Workshop is not particularly creative. That is also why they've taken already existing races in fantasy, changed some letters around, and then copyrighted those names. Because Games Workshop is a cunt. Lord Skrog.
I'll take you down the only road.
have sexual relations with that woman.
No change, I can change, I can change, I can change. But I'm here in my mold. I am here in my mold. But I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can change.
That was Rage Against the Machine, right? Oh, bro, now I'm remembering things. Shit. Which one specifically, people? It might have been if it's the one I'm thinking of, it was either Half-Life or it was Fallout, one of the early ones.
I need to hear some sounds that recognize the pain in me, yeah. I let the melody shine, let it cleanse my mind. I feel free now. The airwaves are clean and there's nobody singing to me now. No change, I can change, I can change, I can change. But I'm here in my mold. I am here in my mold. And I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can change my mold. No, 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 no. I can change it, no, I can change it. 'Cause it's a bittersweet symphony that's life. Trying to make ends meet, trying to find someone and then you die. You know I can change, I can change, I can change, I can change, but I'm here.
It is not generally speaking unruly.
In my mold, and I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can change my mold. No, 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 no. It's got to take my violence, melody and silence. Can't change my violence, melody and violence.
What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Anyway, thanks for listening to Storytime. I stream the night. Buy a shirt, will ya?
What a video. What do you mean, what, Cheeto? Lord Scrolk? What does any of that have to do with Warhammer? That was all about Warhammer. He was showing all of those videos were showcasing the passage of time of the things that Lord Scrolk has lived through before he was retired to Legends. That's why he started in 93 and he ended with more recent things because exactly 2 years ago, well, not exactly 2 years ago, it's not down to the day, but 2 years ago is when they've retired Lord Scrolk, I believe. Is it a separate universe? None of those things happen in the same universe. That was our universe. That was our universe, Cheeto. Lord Scrolk was a part of our universe for 30 years. And then they've retired him. And he is no longer with us. He is no longer with us. Lord Skrolk. Your channel consists of mostly older adults pushing 40. I thought I heard you say that. I wouldn't say mostly. I think we've got a decent range now. I do appear to appeal to people who are like in their 30s and 40s, and a lot of autistic people. And then sometimes it's an autistic person in their 30s or 40s, and then they will like just they will feel very at home with me. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I also don't particularly care why that is. I'm just happy that it is. You know what I mean? You wouldn't download a Skrolk Lord, would you? I probably would. But we're not also ancient. No, I've got a decent amount of people around my age as well, which is 27 for anyone keeping track. God, that video made me feel some type of way. Goodbye, Skrolk. Goodbye, Skrolk. I'm 24 pushing 30. I feel you. I feel you. Alright, we've got the Channel 5 video, which I don't know if we're gonna be able to watch the whole thing, but we're certainly gonna be able to watch a chunk of it, and I feel like that's probably a good idea for us to do. And in the meantime, I'm just wondering if I want to put Witchfire on, or if I want to put some Honkai Star Rail on. Any preferences from chatters? Because I do feel like playing a video game. Just don't know which one I feel like playing. Maybe Witchfire. What a good time with that game. For the most part. There are some weird bits and bobs about it, but it's pretty fun overall. There has been, I found, I ain't buying shit for the time being, but I put it on my wishlist immediately. There is a game on Steam called Tears of Metal. Tears as in crying of metal, as in, you know, the element metallic, what you make armor out of and shit. The Tears of Metal, and it seems like a Dynasty Warriors game, but highly stylized with the graphics and that. And it's set in medieval Scotland, where you fight alongside a Scottish battalion, and you just like fucking cleave into the Brits. And that game seems insanely entertaining, but I'm waiting for some more updates to see if it's going to be an actual game or if it's going to be another one of those you buy it in early access and then it goes nowhere. You should play some Polish game. I'm still waiting for Holstein to come out, man. Fucking how long are they going to be holding out on us with that? I'm really looking forward to Holstein as well. For the time being, nowhere to be seen.
I'm surprised that Bill Joyner continues to jeopardize his life. Mr. Joyner sleep at night, having to constantly look over his shoulder.
Oh, I saw that
pay
video, yeah.
In a big way. I guarantee. Joyner will pay a price. It's just a matter of time. Truth will follow you for the rest of your days on this earth. Hello, my name is Templeton. On July 10th, 2026, Channel 5 News posted the video, "We're Being Sued," announcing their GoFundMe to raise money for an upcoming lawsuit. As of recording, he has raised $1.6 million. Now, you can spend your money on what you want, and I used to be a huge fan of Andrew and All Gas No Brakes back in the day. However, I want to argue that contrary to Andrew Callahan's claims, this lawsuit filed against him has some legs to stand on. According to Andrew, a rich man named Bill Joyner has threatened to
Hasan.
frivolously sue him over his new documentary. The documentary in question is one that Andrew's been working on for years, called Dear Kelly, which focuses on the life of a QAnoner who lives in Southern California. The man who's suing him has claimed that this documentary has defamed him, led to trespass of his residence and other properties, and inflicted emotional and financial harms. My goal in this video is to provide the facts around the case, and show that at the very least, it seems like Andrew did not do his due diligence when it came to reviewing his decisions around the documentary.
Yeah, from the preliminary shit that was shared in my Discord that I've had a look at, and from the conversations with Chido, at least insofar as the opening here goes, I'm fully with the older Harry Potter. It like 100%. Andrew just mischaracterized the fuck out of that lawsuit.
And starts the video with a complaint about being sued frivolously.
The past 2.5 years, we over here at Channel 5 have been fighting a lawsuit in silence against a wealthy California lender named Bill Joyner, who I've never spoken to or seen in my life. Among other dubious claims, he accused Channel 5 of violating the Federal Wiretap Act and intercepting his electronic communications, which is something I've never done and don't know how to do.
So far, Andrew claims that Andrew is being sued by a wealthy lender that he's never seen or spoken to in his life, and the lender in question, Bill Joyner, has accused him of violating a federal wiretapping act, something which would be impossible for him to do, given his lack of knowledge and resources to do so. He then explains that this has led to...
Essentially, the TLDR, Amanax, is that Andrew from Channel 5 is a journalist, and he has recently released a video sharing the fact that he's being sued. And he characterizes the lawsuit as frivolous and malicious, accusing him of things that he has no knowledge or ability to do. And he essentially lies in that characterization because that's not what the lawsuit is at all. And he uses specific language that indicates to me at least that he knows he's lying. And we are watching somebody else's take on it just to see if they've done like more exhaustive research than what perhaps we have done.
A long process of discovery, which led to the federal case eventually being dropped.
Somebody with enough money for good lawyers can sue anyone for anything at any time. And just maybe, if you get lucky, the judge will believe it. And that's exactly what happened here. This resulted in a painstaking year-long discovery process where forensic investigators audited our company's servers and hard drives for evidence of wiretapping and found absolutely nothing. After years of fighting for the truth in a federal courtroom and spending over $800,000 on legal fees, Joyner's attorneys decided to drop the federal lawsuit entirely before trial. Poof, gone.
Quick aside on the nature of YouTube viewers. Views naturally matter, but another metric, retention, is just as important. Most people don't watch full videos. In fact, on average, 50% of viewers click off after the first minute. This means that the only two pieces of information that around 1 million of the viewers had was that Channel 5 is being sued by a random person who is accusing them of a crime that they didn't do and that they need to raise the money for this lawsuit. The initial lawsuit being dropped wasn't even discussed until the 2-minute mark. Naturally, I'm not trying to dictate how videos should be structured, but when people are donating their money, things need to be cleared up quickly and succinctly so the actual issue is understood before the majority clicks off. If the first minute was a summary of why they needed the help, or even giving a call to action like many YouTubers do, say, at the end, we will explain exactly why we need this money, I'd have no problems with it. But this introduction almost makes it sound like they're being sued for wiretapping, which just isn't what's happening at all. For the next 2 minutes, Andrew talks about his channel and how he had to spend $800,000 on legal fees. But then he mentions the next part of his interactions with Bill Joyner's legal team.
I've got some really bad news. Bill Joyner and his attorneys are resuing us with modified claims now that include defamation, stalking, false light, and trespassing. Yesterday, I was served with the process, pictured on screen, indicating that we're gonna have to go through this entire process again from start to finish. And after speaking with a couple different attorneys, it doesn't seem like the second round is gonna be any cheaper than the first. And therefore, I have to be direct and keep it 1,000 here. I can't afford it unless we can immediately fundraise the legal fees that are required to fight the second round against bullshitting Bill Joyner and his morally bankrupt team of bogus slang and jabronis. And we need to ask for your support.
This is the current case that he's involved in, and he calculates that he can't afford overhead and will have to fire his staff if he foots the whole bill. After this, he explains all the new content he plans on creating for his viewers, and
I'm sure Himbleton is gonna cover this as well, but Andrew knew when that first lawsuit was cancelled, he knew the second one's coming because the agreed upon thing that caused the first one to be cancelled was that there's going to be a second one in a different jurisdiction. Like, Andrew was aware of that, but he doesn't say that in his video.
People who depend on him as an employer. It's only after this long explanation that he finally covers the contents of this lawsuit, almost 8 minutes in. Oh wait, he doesn't even do that. Instead, he explains a bunch of past work that he's done and previews a sentimental promo for his documentary, Dear Kelly. It isn't until almost 12 minutes into this video that he even mentions the plaintiff of this case again, Bill Joyner, and it's about the thesis of his film, Dear Kelly.
So after I popped that question, our whole conversation pivoted from Clinton trafficking rings and the alleged Kobe Bryant assassination to a personal one about a man named Bill Joyner, the one suing me now.
I've been advised by my attorney to not say that much about the Dear Kelly film ahead of this ongoing litigation, but I will tell you that this film only briefly focuses on the pre-political dispute between Kelly and Bill Joyner.
Notice the specific wording. The film only briefly focuses on the pre-political dispute between Kelly and Bill Joyner. This will be important later. He then claims that the second half of the film contains an apology from the subject of the film, Kelly Johnson, and focuses on him taking responsibility for his actions.
Pretty emotional.
Do you mean Andrew, Global Eyes?
Intervention and documents Kelly's process in inpatient therapy, in which he accepts responsibility for his own role in the home foreclosure and actually goes as far as agreeing to apologize and make amends with Bill.
I need to go back and I need to forgive Bill Joyner.
Again, put a pin in this. He then continues his Dear Kelly promo. Andrew finally touches on the contents of the legal complaint that was filed.
So in the complaint, which is also linked below, they describe Dear Kelly as a film that corroborates the false, nonsensical, and mentally disturbed story of defendant Kelly Scott Johnson. They claim that we spent 2 years stalking, surveilling, video recording, and audio recording Mr. Joyner, his family, his home residence, and his place of business. And that we traveled to California, where I actually lived at the time, specifically to create recordings intended to harass and intimidate Mr. Joyner, his spouse, and his minor children. While it first appeared that Callahan was simply reporting on the story of Kelly Johnson, it is clear that at some point the two became quite close, and Callahan has taken on Johnson's crusade against Mr. Joyner as his own.
Andrew, in response, files an anti-SLAPP motion, which I'll let him explain.
So SLAPP stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation, and mostly exists to protect journalists from frivolous lawsuits that are typically leveraged by powerful people with deep pockets who are trying to keep reporters quiet about something by burying them in legal and court fees until they basically get fatigued by expenses and agree to settle outside of court and sign some kind of NDA that guarantees permanent silence.
However, he got the ruling back.
Then a few months later came the ruling. Our judge ruled in favor of Joyner, dismissing our motion and arguing that Dear Kelly was not protected speech because Kelly's story is not a matter of public interest. Meaning, because Kelly and Bill are both private individuals and their prior disputes surrounding the foreclosure of Kelly's home had already been resolved.
Thank you for stopping by, Aminax. Thank you for throwing the coin, and do enjoy the poison that is League of Legends. Bye-bye, and we'll talk to you soon.
Film wasn't journalistically valuable because their dispute with the house was no longer ongoing and so doesn't concern the public.
Let's pause to recap just one more time. First, this motion was rejected due to Bill Joyner's status as a private figure. Legally, a private figure is someone who is neither in public office, i.e. a high-ranking government official, a public figure like a celebrity, someone involved in a large news story or a person of public interest, or a limited-purpose public figure, which is a person involved in a large story who would otherwise be a private figure. This is important because Andrew's argument against Joyner being a private figure is that he's connected to a larger story that's relevant to the country.
The film, even though it's focused on Kelly as an individual who himself isn't like a politician or an important figure necessarily, his story connects to broader national events and movements.
Is that him? Is this Bill Joyner?
Politician or an important figure.
Like this guy here on the left, this is Bill Joyner, then I'm guessing. This is the first time I'm seeing his face.
Necessarily. His story connects to...
No, that's Kelly. Oh. Okay, so we do not get to see what Bill looks like.
to broader national events and movements that have permanently reshaped the landscape of our country.
Prodigal son.
Absolutely.
None of it happened before. Remember
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you, Charlie. Good seeing you again. Thank you.
This is not really a convincing argument at all. But he says that the reason this anti-slap motion was dropped was because the judge is really old.
I don't know if the judge ever watched Dear Kelly or if she even knows how to use a computer, and I mean that respectfully. Judge Marshall was born in 1936, around 15 years before cable TV became a household fixture, and may have had, honestly, genuine difficulty navigating the technology.
Kind of a red herring and distracts from the legitimacy of the decision. So, that's the story so far from Andrew's side. Earlier, he said that this case all started with the Dear Kelly film. Well, let me burst the bubble a little bit. Andrew said that we'll get a better idea of how ridiculous this lawsuit is if we watch the film.
Watching Dear Kelly in its entirety will give...
Oh, I'm aware of the shit surrounding that, Leonard, because Chido shared the court case, the file links in Discord, and we've gone over some of them, and it's like, it's the wild conspiracy shit is one thing, but I don't know if you've seen the bits where Kelly's talking about how the wrath of God is going to meet Joyner, and how karma eventually always catches up to the wrongdoers, and he will not get away with it, and he will experience the might of Kelly. Like that shit was just that was some wild shit. Hey Ruby, how you doing, love?
Give you more context as to just how ridiculous this lawsuit is, and probably answer whatever other questions you might have about the project.
So I did, and I have to say, I came to a very different conclusion. The documentary opens up with Kelly Johnson in front of a Planned Parenthood protesting the site, since he's pro-life, and he believes that Planned Parenthood is selling baby parts. Not even a minute into this documentary, Kelly starts yelling about Bill Joyner, saying Bill has stolen his house from him.
Save the kids! Save my house from Bill Joyner!
After this, Andrew Callahan splices in a short...
There is something, nobody can do business the way maggots can. The way how they're able to seemingly begin by going, you know, save the children, abortion bad, and then immediately swerve it into, by the way, here is personal drama that I'm in the middle of with a dude trying to steal my household, please help. It's just, it's magical. It takes a degree of shamelessness that I don't think regular people are almost capable of. Magical. Just truly magical. Their entire mind is a loose, super free association, kind of true.
Video clip of Kelly pointing a gun at the camera saying,
I got First Amendment rights, and I got Second Amendment rights. Vote, and don't forget it. Don't tread on me!
After going in and harassing the front desk, the receptionist threatens trespass and Kelly walks out, comparing the abortion industry to Bill Joyner, since both are cowards hiding behind doors and P.O. boxes. Andrew then overlays footage of the private residence of Bill Joyner as Kelly rambles about where he lives.
P.O. box, just like you hide behind the gates of
Notice that we're not even through the intro, and Bill Joyner is mentioned multiple times in the introduction and is even doxxed. After this opener, Andrew states that the purpose of this documentary is this.
This is a documentary about a guy named Kelly Johnson, spoken patriot who hates the Democrat Party, but not as much as he hates a man named Bill Joyner, who you don't know about yet, but you're going to learn a lot about later.
So the point is to investigate Kelly Johnson's life and why he hates Bill Joyner. If you recall before...
But I will tell you that this film only briefly focuses on the pre-political dispute between Kelly and Bill Joyner.
Andrew claims that the film only briefly focuses on the pre-political dispute between Kelly and Bill Joyner, and you'll see how ridiculous this is as time goes on. Although this technically isn't contradictory with what he said before, if you come on. Although this technically...
Out of curiosity, what is the... Chido, you'll probably know, because you're a smart guy, unlike myself and Leonard. Fuck me. Yeah, that's a rough beginning. What does pre-political imply in this context? Jesus. Fuck. Okay. To be clear, the movie doesn't paint Kelly's vendetta against Bill Joyner as rational or Bill Joyner as pure evil, but it does drag someone who desperately seems to want to remain a private citizen to being a major unseen character in a wildly released documentary. Well, there's also the shit about... there's also the shit about them wearing the fucking ghillie suits and going into his place of business without permission, right? There is... Like there was a whole bunch of shit in there that was very sussy backer. I missed the context, Pepega. Oh no. My emote, what's the emote thingy called? The one that turns words into emotes. Whatever that's called is broken. And also, Chido, I would tell you the context, but I don't remember what I've asked you. I'm sorry.
Isn't contradictory with what he said before. If you combine this statement with Andrew's opening, that Bill Joyner was someone that he's never talked to or ever seen in his life, you would think that Joyner serves a small role in this documentary, unless you watched it yourself. In fact, I'm not the only one who noticed this. Streamer Chud Logic reviewed the film and noticed this now playing as well.
Okay, so what is... Okay, it seems like Bill Joyner's a pretty fundamental facet of the story then, if we're mentioning him right at the start of this. The way Andrew presented it made it seem like it was a small little part of a broader narrative, but it seems pretty central to the premise, no?
Andrew explains that he met Kelly in April of 2021 at a White Lives Matter rally in Huntington Beach. He seemed to be the sole Trump supporter there, defending his pro-life position. Andrew cuts to a montage of Kelly showing off his gadgets, including a hammer, a crowbar, and a Magnum revolver.
That's a girl's name. And so in that regard, there is the Second Amendment.
Why are they bringing up Destiny?
And right here, and right here, and right here. So just don't forget that.
Andrew then asks Kelly for the most painful piece of truth that has hurt him. Kelly explains that he's had his home stolen by Bill Joyner, and Andrew highlights this answer as what he was looking for in a documentary, since he believes that many QAnoners were downwardly mobile, older conservative figures who likely faced some sort of traumatic experience around the time Trump was elected into office. These three pillars are, as he explained in his Doomscroll interview.
One of the things that I really appreciated about the early part of the film is that you propose, I think you call it Andrew's theory of radicalization.
Yeah.
What is Andrew's theory of radicalization?
Well, I mean, okay, so I said this, and I thought I was like kind of a genius when I thought about it, but then, so my theory was that the three core needs are security, significance, and connection.
Right.
Turns out there's actually a guy named Maslow who said something very similar, and it's called the hierarchy of needs.
Right.
I think it's like the first course you take in college. So
and
everyone's like, this guy's biting
for people
Maslow.
who haven't heard of that, what...
Andrew treats this like he's reinventing the wheel in the documentary, when in reality he's just butchering the concept of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At this event, Kelly continues to yell about Bill Joyner, doxing him one more time for good measure, with no lead up.
He's falsified a trustee's deed to himself with 7 false representations on it and stole my home. His name's Bill Joyner. He lives in... And he's demonic also.
Again, this is not censored for the documentary. After the event, Andrew interviews Kelly about the story behind Bill Joyner. Kelly was originally a bankruptcy lawyer who had his own law practice. As times got tougher and he lost the practice, he got deep into debt. He explains that in late 2016, he received an email from Bill Joyner telling him that he could apply for a loan after a 5-minute phone call between the values of $35,000 to $3 million. Kelly initially asks him for $100,000. He also mentions that he was 4 months late for a payment, and because of that he was sent a default notice, and he was eventually evicted as Bill Joyner had foreclosed on his house. To Andrew's credit, he states up front that this action was not theft from Bill Joyner.
What Kelly continuously refers to as a theft was actually just a foreclosure.
The thing is, too, with Kelly having been a bankruptcy lawyer, there's very little reason why he shouldn't have seen this deal that Bill Joyner initially offered him as too good.
That whole thing is sussy as fuck, with both the dude being a lawyer and everything seemingly being, I don't want to say, like, legally sound, although that probably is an accurate description. There's probably something dubious about the way, let me rephrase that. There is absolutely something dubious about the way how Joyner advertises his loan-giving business. There is 100% some fuckery afoot there. However, looks like Kelly knew what he's getting into. He's just unhappy with how it ended.
Good to be true. A couple of months after this event, Kelly's ex-wife took custody of the kids and divorced him, and he became homeless. After Andrew explains that this sort of story was somewhat commonplace among January 6ers, he plays a huge compilation of Kelly with his family in their old home, his wedding, and his kids. This compilation feels extremely charged, as if to say, look at how good life was before Bill Joyner. Right after letting Kelly have a tirade of Bill ruining his life, this sappy compilation just feels like it's hammering in what the villainous Bill took away from him. They also showed that this home had fish, dogs, stingrays, rats, turtles, rabbits, goats, and a pig. Again, this is a suburban house with a small backyard. These farm animals have no place to graze here, which shows that even before all of this, Kelly was a bit of a crazy guy. Then gives a small biography of Kelly, a guy who got straight A's and lived originally in a trailer park, moved down to California after going to law school, and seemingly was living the American dream. After this montage of Kelly, overlaid with emotional music and happy family memories, he states that the mission of the rest of this film is to help Kelly move on from Bill Joyner, who he's been harassing for nearly a decade at this point.
And so I became struck with a genuine desire to help Kelly move on, help him process his resentments, and most importantly, move on from Bill Joyner.
Again, the earlier comments about this being a small...
It's just high interest rates for quick loan. It targets wealthy fuck-ups who know better, not poor folks on the edge. I'll be honest with you, and this could be... I could be proven wrong very quickly and very easily if I am indeed wrong. I'm yet to meet somebody who does predatory high interest rates for quick loans, but who specifically only goes after rich fuck-ups and not after people not so rich also. Like, it's... I understand it's certainly possible, right? It would even make sense if you wanted to try and, like, lean into that as a business. I feel like they're not drawing that line because of morality. They're drawing that line because, like, poor as fuck people are not gonna, like, even if they loan them the money, they're not gonna be able to afford the kind of repayments that he's looking for. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, no, I get that, someone. That makes perfect sense to me, but I'm saying that, like, that doesn't make it any better. You know what I mean? How the fuck is the thesis going to be he did this to harass Bill Joyner when the premise of the film is the man is crazy and we want to help him move on from his obsession with Bill Joyner? The thesis is dumb as fuck. How the fuck is the thesis going to be he did this to harass Bill Joyner when the premise of the film is this man is crazy and we want to help him move on from the obsession with Bill Joyner? Leonard, isn't part of the issue that we don't actually know what the thesis is because Andrew kept playing different versions of that movie across theaters in different parts of the country? Wasn't that a part of the lawsuit as well, where it's like it's very difficult for Bill Joyner to even specifically, like, point to the one movie that is largely problematic because there's a different iteration of it every fucking day?
Part of it is just seeming less and less likely. Plan A, to get Kelly to wean off of Bill, was to try talking to his kids and see how they could help him. What's clear in talking to his two oldest children is that Kelly is a relatively immature person. His son says that he often calls Kelly his son because he feels like he's the dad at times.
You call him son?
Son, every now and then, yeah.
How come?
You know, I just gotta, like, you know, he'll go off on these little tangents, you know, get pretty passionate about stuff. I'm like, you know, hey, like, it's okay, like, calm down.
His daughter says he's basically high all the time.
My dad is high 24/7, and he does stuff. Like, his normal is being high.
They mentioned that Bill Joyner basically became Kelly's obsession, to the point that he stopped working. He also cuts to a montage of Kelly going around a commercial area by Bill Joyner's house, with Bill hiding behind P.O. boxes, passing charged flyers with Bill's location to strangers.
Can access him because he's hiding. There's a guy that lives over here that rips people off financially. I didn't know if you knew about him. If not, you should know about him to stay away from him. His name's Bill Joyner.
After a party segment, Andrew finds out that Kelly Johnson had never even met Bill Joyner. Andrew's genius plan was then to get the guy who was obsessed with Bill Joyner, not all there, and was waving his firearms all around to have a man-to-man with Bill Joyner.
I figured that if I could sit Kelly down with Bill, maybe they could just have a man-to-man, straightforward dialogue, and that would take the edge off a bit.
Does that seem like a good solution?
Probably the content, right? That's why it's happening. It's probably, Jesus, fuck. Probably isn't meant to be a good solution, actually. I imagine.
Either way, this becomes the next segment of the documentary. Finding Bill Joyner. First, Andrew attempts to send him an email. At some point in this sending, he writes this joke email threatening Bill, but never sends it.
Hello, Bill. We've been watching you while you sleep. Sincerely, Kelly's Army. All right, so, New Times New Roman.
Andrew also sends food to his office. Obviously, Joyner doesn't respond to any of these emails, but Andrew doesn't give up. His next plan is to confront him face to face in his office. He somehow gets to Bill's office and doesn't find him. He even tries squatting down to see if he can see him through the door.
They're probably all working from home, man.
His next idea is to sign up to Bill Joyner's country club so he can attempt to meet him during a Chinese New Year celebration. He tries to show a child a picture of Bill, and the child says that he's never seen the guy.
Have you seen this guy before?
Why?
Don't think so.
Not being able to find Bill, Andrew concocts Plan D to show Kelly Bill Joyner in real life from afar, or as I joked about on my stream, within shooting distance. Given Kelly's vapid obsession with Bill, possession of guns, being not all there, you name it, really.
Which is that maybe Kelly didn't actually need to sit down with him for mediation, and it would be enough to just physically see him in the flesh, even from afar, to realize that Bill is no more than a mortal man.
I don't know what the logic behind this was, but it already felt like a strange stalking scheme before this. But it gets worse. Andrew reveals how the plan is put into action, and
well, the guy that did the Lego thing, the good guy, the one that we support morally, but maybe not. What's his name? Who am I thinking of? What was that content creator called? I mean, we what the fuck? We stand by his side because ultimately the Lego guy's a cunt, but he's just such a dipshit, bro. I feel bad for the kid who lost her job as well because of all of that fucking Forest cult theatric shit that he decided to do without ever bothering to censor her face, which is just a dickhead move. Because he's a multi-millionaire who's gonna go off and be perfectly fine as soon as that shit's done, and she's not. For her, there are real consequences, and he appears not to have given a fuck. Just sad.
it involves
Reckless
him
Ben,
ordering
one,
ghillie suits for him and Kelly. And they both planned on trying to see him from afar in his house from the hills behind it.
I ordered Kelly and I some ghillie suits online and hatched a plan to get a covert visual ID on Bill from as close to his house as legally possible.
Bill, truth and justice is heading your way.
In this process, Kelly starts going on unhinged monologues on how he's going to find Bill Joyner. And then he explains that in a different era, Bill would have been killed for what he did to him and others.
This was the Old West. He'd be dead right now because someone would have shot him. In the Old West, they wouldn't have tolerated
And he wants them to meet, by the way.
this.
They continue to go to different vantage points, but they're unable to see him. With all of their options exhausted, an hour into this hour-and-a-half documentary, Andrew starts investigating Kelly's life before Bill Joyner, since he finds out Kelly had lied about his disbarment from practicing law, coinciding with his foreclosure, when it had actually happened years prior to that. Andrew then talks to an attorney in LA to explain Kelly's previous record in law. It's then revealed that Kelly was a vexatious litigant, specifically against Bill Joyner. He was trying to blackmail an NFL player, and that Bill Joyner offered Kelly $75,000 to not put up flyers about where he lived and how he was supposedly stealing homes. Andrew also spoke to Kelly's ex-wife, who revealed that Kelly was addicted to spending and that he wasn't willing to downsize and sell his home after losing his law practice, something that very easily could have gotten him out of his debt situation. The rest of the film really deals with Kelly's attempt to reconcile with his family, and then his dive back into MAGA politics. It's certainly interesting, and the message I took away from it is that it's really hard for people to change. Kelly's always seemed like someone who's very proud of who they are, and he is singularly focused on getting money and notoriety. At the same time, while Andrew—
No, Beans, I think there's something about the way these stories are told that makes that conclusion reasonable, if for no other reason than because that's exactly what I was thinking too. I needed Cheeto to tell me, essentially, that no, this has already, what is this? Am I supposed to pop the orange ones? Was I supposed to have not popped the orange ones? I do not know how the fuck this works, bro.
Andrew doesn't endorse and even at times frames Bill Joyner as a victim of Kelly's harassment. It's also clear that Andrew doesn't want to discourage Kelly from engaging in this harassment, since he seems to have a deep sympathy for him, and Andrew even indulges in it to some degree, as you saw with the ghillie suits. Andrew himself is known to be a progressive leftist, and throughout the film, he frames Bill Joyner as a part of the predatory lending class. The best way I could put the framing of this documentary is to recall another progressive leftist, Michael Brooks, who had the famous saying, "Be ruthless of systems and kind to individuals." Andrew, in a lot of ways, seems to almost assume that the problem is the system, which gives rise to people like Kelly and Bill. But in doing so, he has what seems to be a clear bias coming into the film, one that never really gets fully fully shaken off that Bill is a part of this evil class. Because of that, the film ends with 3 frames, claiming that Bill was threatening to sue Andrew if they released this film, but he was willing to release it anyways. This is Andrew's side, but Bill Joyner in his legal complaints paints a very different story about Kelly. Before we get into Joyner's complaints, we need to explain how they're structured. There's essentially 2 parts to this complaint. First, there's a fact sheet explaining Johnson's lengthy history with Bill Joyner, which gives context to the complaints. Second, there's a section that elaborates on the complaints themselves. Let's focus on the history first. In 2007, Kelly Johnson approaches Bill Joyner looking for a second loan on his house. In the documentary, Andrew frames this as Bill offering Kelly a loan of up to $3 million after a 5-minute phone call in 2016. Andrew never corrects this. If the first fact around the Kelly Bill story is completely false, we're off to a horrible start when it comes to a defamation case. Bill's legal team states that Johnson came to Mr. Joyner searching for a second loan on his residence because he couldn't get traditional financing. The house was appraised at $1.75 million at the time. Joyner, through his family trust, lent him $150,000 with a monthly payment of $1,500, based on a loan application where Kelly claimed he made no less than $25,000 a month. However, it turned out Kelly lied about his income and wasn't making anywhere close to that amount monthly. Remember, this is a man who was a practicing attorney at the time, specifically a bankruptcy attorney, someone who is professionally qualified to understand what a
being a lawyer and not making enough to be able to pay off $1,500 a month means that you either are just legitimately unemployed, which, you know, rough shit, but it is what it is, or most probably have such tremendous fucking debts other than that one that, like, you are reprioritizing in a way perhaps that you shouldn't be. Yeah, I feel you, Tweaked. I feel you. It's not quite that bad here, but I've got a lot of Americans in my audience, and I feel you.
Second mortgages, and the ramifications of lying about your income on a loan application. In 2011, Kelly defaulted. This is 4 years, not 4 months after the loan was issued, as Andrew relays in the documentary. Joyner's legal team says that he stopped making payments, and Joyner recorded a notice of default in June of 2011 after 6 months of missed payments. At this point, if Joyner was the evil lender who lent money to people he knew could never pay back the principal amount in interest, he would have foreclosed then. Instead, according to the complaint, Joyner enters into multiple forbearance agreements, or reductions of interest payments, with Kelly, which is why a notice of trustees sale doesn't even get published until April of 2014. That is 3 years of a lender not foreclosing on a defaulted loan. More than enough time for Kelly to fork up some cash for Joyner. So already, according to past legal records, which are continuously cited in this complaint, Joyner wasn't this shady, loan shark-esque figure he's depicted as in the documentary. Rather, Kelly went to Joyner looking for money. Kelly then lied about his income so he could qualify for the loan, and Bill Joyner waited nearly 4 years with no payment, trying to work out some kind of deal so that Kelly could more easily pay back the money that he owed. Kelly's then wife files 2 back-to-back bankruptcy cases timed to the eve of the scheduled foreclosure dates. And I want to read you what the federal bankruptcy court said about that, because this is not Bill Joyner's characterization. This is a judge saying this. The bankruptcy court found the successive filings were part of a scheme to hinder, delay, or defraud creditors. Fast forward to March of 2015. Kelly's family and Bill Joyner signed a settlement and release agreement. In it, per the complaint, Kelly Johnson agreed in writing that the foreclosure was not improper in any respect. The Johnsons admitted their defaults and acknowledged what they owed.
Yeah, so it's again, it's part of the bits and bobs that we've spoken about in my Discord, where it looked like at least from the legal side of things, everything was done as properly, so to speak, as it could have been. It's such a fucking weird case. It's so weird. I don't get, the thing that baffles me the most is that, like, Andrew Callahan is a really smart dude. I think we're all in agreement on that, right? At least I don't know if I've got any Andrew Callahan haters in here. How the fuck is somebody as smart as him just fully, not even fully siding, but seemingly having this like almost bias in regards to how he goes about contacting Joyner versus how he goes about interacting with Kelly, such that it ends up in this messy lawsuit that's a part of this now. Are we? You know what I mean. Why the fuck do they keep spawning? Okay, there we go, they stopped. Fucking rough timing, though. Rough timing. This game is called Witchfire. It is quite cool. I'm a hater, but that's mostly about his rapping. Can I see that rapping, Cheeto? Would you bestow us with the gift of a link? A12, I can't. Not rapping, raping. Oh, Jesus, fuck, alright. When somebody said earlier that there's an allegation, I thought it's... I thought it maybe isn't quite, you know, that. Fucking hell, man.
The deal was simple. Reinstate the loan by June 8, 2015, or the foreclosure proceeds. Kelly didn't reinstate. He accepted the foreclosure. Or did he? On June 9, 2015, Joyner forecloses, exactly as the settlement that Kelly signed allowed him to do. And what does Kelly do on the day before the sale? He files a lawsuit, a wrongful foreclosure action. And when the Johnsons refuse to leave the house they no longer own, Joyner has to file an unlawful detainer action, which he wins on summary judgment in September of 2015. What follows from 2015 to 2017 is honestly hard to read out loud without it sounding like a joke. Kelly appeals the eviction judgment. He gets a stay on the condition that he pays fair rental value while he stays in the house.
I feel like we should go over it. Like I should, maybe not necessarily today, because I obviously need to make heads and tails out of it. But I mean, I've spoken fondly about Andrew Callahan enough times that if he's a rapist, I really fucking want to know. I don't want to speak fondly of a rapist. I don't care what other good shit he's done. If he's a rapist, I don't want to... Like, that's it. We are big haters from this point onwards.
He doesn't pay. The stay gets lifted. He appeals the lifting of the stay.
Leonard said people forgave him earlier in chat, but what the fuck? I don't think Leonard said they forgave him. I think Leonard said that people have determined that this isn't serious enough to warrant cancelling, right? But that's, I know it's potato, but I feel like that's, fuck me, I'm out of ammo. That's still quite different. There is an NPR article for it. Forgive the source, but it provides a good summary. Reddit Vorsh. Okay, as soon as... Actually, hold on. I forgot I can pause this game. "28 days ago. Alright, topical. Andrew Callahan is so much worse than Vorsh thinks. Vorsh has spoken positively of Andrew Callahan recently, and it seemed that both he and his sub have decided that Callahan has taken accountability and redeemed himself based on an inaccurate understanding of the allegations. On a separate post made yesterday, the most upvoted comments included claims that A. Callahan did not rape anyone, B. that he was merely pushy with women and the sex was consensual, C. the rape allegations are too outlandish to be believed, D. victims extorted Callahan for money. None of these have a factual basis. We have 6 different women accusing Callahan of crimes worse than being pushy or a sex pest. 2 allege outright rape. 1 sexual coercion bordering on rape, and 3 others non-penetrative sexual assault and forced sexual touching. All of these women repeatedly told Callahan no. Note, the absence of a no does not legally constitute consent, and 90% of the time, he ignored them. Callahan himself claims he has always taken no for an answer, but it's his word against 6. Summarizing allegations. 1. In 2016, Anna matched with Callahan on Tinder and they went on a coffee date. They ended up at an apartment and Andrew poured wine on my shirt and proceeded to take off my shirt and then lick the wine off my bare chest. I completely froze up. I felt unsafe and incredibly violated. He took her hand and made her touch his penis. He wouldn't take a simple no for an answer, tried to guilt her into additional sex acts. Accusation, sexual assault / forced sexual touching and attempted coercion. 2. In 2017, Callahan gave Mari 4 or 5 shots at a bar called The Boot near Loyola University in New Orleans. He drank far less than her. She was so drunk that she only remembers some of the details of that night. Somehow she ended up at Callahan's off-campus accommodation. Remembers him above her and feeling vaginal pain. Told him she just wanted to go to sleep. He physically held her in place where she tried to roll away while he was raping her. The next morning, he mocked her and told her she only rejected his advances because his penis was too big. He laughed while telling her, "You were saying no, you were crying, no, 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 please stop." I had this idea in my head that if I did not accept that I had been raped, then I hadn't been raped. Accusation, rape, forcible, and incapacitated. 3. Emma also met Callahan in 2017 at The Boot. After a friendly conversation, Callahan followed Emma to a dorm and cornered her in her room. He refused to leave when she asked, then grabbed her and began having sex with her. She said no at least 3 times. Callahan told her to shut up and covered her mouth at least once. The act was so violent that Emma's back, which she broke in 2013, was re-injured. Accusation, forcible rape. 4. In 2018, Jane was really drunk at a bar. In an upstairs area, which I assume is public, Andrew started kissing me, groping me, moving my hands to touch him, forcing my head down. She got up and rushed to the train station, but he followed her there. He was pleading with me to go with him. I yelled at him and told him to go away. I was like, "Leave me alone." He did leave, and I feel like part of the reason he did was because there were other people on the platform that heard me screaming at him. Feels traumatized and like she was too drunk to consent. Accusation, sexual assault / forced sexual touching and attempted coercion. 5. In 2019, Dana was assaulted by Callahan while driving home from dinner. He put his hands down her pants and put her hands on his crotch as she was telling him to stop. He eventually stopped and got out of the car. Accusation, sexual assault / forced sexual touching. 6. In 2021, Caroline offered to help Callahan by allowing him to crash at her place while he was down in Miami for work. I thought my only option was to cave in to what he was repeatedly asking of me and ignoring all my different versions of no, I'm tired, sorry I have to be up early, is it okay if we just go to sleep, I'm really tired. Frozen in fear, I thought that acquiescence was my only option. She was afraid of Callahan and what he might do if she continued to refuse him. A lot of skeptics are asking why I didn't do more to prevent myself from being coerced. It was fear. You might think you know someone, but you never know how they might react if you don't give them what they want. She was raped at 14 years old by another man. Callahan later acknowledged in text messages that his persistence had brought up trauma from past situation, recognizing implicitly that his actions were harmful and threatening. The threatening environment Callahan created might have constituted rape by threat of force, making Caroline's grudging consent meaningless. This is borderline rape in my opinion. Accusation, sexual coercion or forcible rape. The evidence. Anna showed the stranger multiple texts to friends outlining the allegations. Jane showed the stranger texts to a friend in which she expressed that she was traumatized. Caroline showed texts to friends detailing the incident only a few months after it had occurred. Callahan appeared to acknowledge wrongdoings in text to Caroline not long after the incident. Emma provided the stranger emails with her doctor discussing her re-injury and subsequent MRI scan. Emma showed the stranger a journal entry she wrote shortly after the incident. I replayed the night with Andrew over and over and over. Please stop thinking about the fact that he didn't stop, even though you asked so many times. Mary told 5 different people that Callahan had raped her. All 5 confirmed the story to the stranger. Mary told her therapist about the rape in 2022. The therapist confirmed the stranger that Mary told her she was raped in college. Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like I should take a pause and maybe just talk to chat for a moment or two. What the fuck? All women. 6 cases. 6 accusations. Who the fuck in the history of humanity has had 6 separate women come forward over the years, accusing that person of being a rapist, and for all of them to just be lying? What the fuck? Callahan's own admissions. Despite asserting that he always took no for an answer, Callahan admitted that he had felt persistence was a form of flattery, and that going home from a bar alone made you a loser. Clearly his self-image was tied up with his sexual success with women. Is it really unthinkable that someone with such twisted beliefs would be capable of rape, that he might choose to interpret a woman's pain or objections as proof of his sexual prowess, as he allegedly did with Mary? The extortion allegations. Allegations that victims were trying to extort Callahan for money originate from a single text from Caroline, which reads, I don't really want a response from you because I already know your skewed version of what happened last time I saw you. I just want you to know that seeing friends of mine promote your new show, which I'm not discounting, came with a lot of hard work, hurts me in ways I wish you could feel sometimes. Anyways, if HBO cuts you a fat check and you in any way feel like helping contribute to the massive amounts of therapy bills I have accrued due to the night you coerced me and the resulting trauma, my Venmo is XYZ. Thanks. Caroline sent him this one message in a clearly emotional state after seeing her rapist appear repeatedly in the media she consumed, enjoying consequences-free success while her friends cheered him on. Meanwhile, she's bogged down with therapy bills from what this man did to her. There are no threats here. It was one justifiably bitter text that he never replied to, not the drawn-out extortion attempt that some here seem to think. Conclusion. The evidence for Callahan being a rapist and sexual abuser of women is strong. The accusations cover a similar time period and happened under similar circumstances, even down to the same bar. The only distinction between the rape versus the groping/assault allegations is A, how public the incident is, and B, how drunk the victim is. This is entirely consistent with how a sexual predator would operate. Any quote-unquote consequences Callahan has suffered are not proportional to the crimes committed. I can't see how anyone who claims to give a fuck about women can still support him, Vorsh included. Chat, we are big with Joyner on this one now. Me and all my homies hate Andrew Callahan. Fuck that guy. This is like pathological. I doubt he stopped. I don't believe that. When you've got a track record like this one, is it controversial for me to say that when you've got a track record like this one, I don't believe in the fact that you can be reformed? Like, this is an adult man who, over the course of, at least according to this Reddit post, what appears to be, what, 5 years between, like, the first and the last? Over the course of 5 years has raped multiple women. Like, in what world am I... What therapeutic genius do we need to fix someone like that? Andrew Callahan? Yes, Rosie. Andrew Callahan.
Then he files bankruptcy a 3rd time on the eve of the October 2016 lockout, which the complaint says was done to block their eviction and remain in the home rent-free. He gets one more stay in January of 2017, where the court explicitly says no further stays will be granted. He appeals that too. The first appeal is eventually affirmed in full against Kelly. The second is dismissed as moot. The third is dismissed because he didn't even bother prosecuting it. In February of 2017, after roughly 6 years of living in a house that he had stopped paying for, the sheriff finally evicts the Johnsons. After the Johnsons...
Oh, Cheeto was just linking the thread again. You're doing God's work, Cheeto, by the way. I know we sometimes glaze you in like this silly way, but you're doing the God's work. You will be an honorary, like you will have an honorary spot in the cult. On God, for real, for real.
Blew through multiple court orders. The bankruptcy court struck their answer entirely and entered default against them, writing that the non-compliance occurred because of neglect, obstinacy, and anger at Joyner, and describing the flouting and disregard of 4 separate and very explicit oral and written warnings given by the court. The court then entered a non-dischargeable judgment against the Johnsons for $364,424.11. The complaint states that despite having every legal right...
I can't imagine coming forward with rape allegations. Your rapist apologizes and just moves on like nothing ever happened, still being successful. Still being like hyper successful and broadly praised in the media, no less, right? It's not just the matter of somebody being successful. It's somebody being successful in a sort of subject matter that you have to or are like in contact with, so to speak, on a day-to-day basis. Right? That's why so many you have cases like this. It's relatively like it's not I don't think it's not particularly rare that one of the things that re-triggers all of this trauma is the fact that you will see your rapist like in the media or whatever. It's just fucking really sad. It's really sad. I don't really have anything better to say on it. I'm sorry. I just it's just sad. It's just really sad. He didn't even apologize and look where he is. Doesn't look like he's going to apologize either, you know? It's just sad.
To collect that $364,000 judgment, Mr. Joyner has never taken any steps to enforce that judgment. So even after all of these wacky hijinks that Johnson pulled...
I keep telling that Globalized too. I've had this conversation with Diz before. Not on this topic. Diz has never done anything like that could remotely be confused as like fucking rape apology or whatever. I do want to make this clear because I'm about to use a disagreement that I've had historically with Diz. And I just want to make it sure that you're not confusing this with something else that I do not want you to confuse this with. But I had a conversation with Diz a while ago where Diz had this belief system where if you do a certain bad, then like that means you are no longer a leftist, because if you were a leftist, you wouldn't have done that bad, because that's just how that works, right? You can't do that bad thing and be a leftist because it's antithetical to being a leftist. And I was saying that, like, I understand where this is coming from. I genuinely get it. But that's just not true. It's so fucking easy to get lost in the source and start believing that we're somehow, like, above these things. But we're not. And like, when I say we, I mean, like, the left, right? We're not, and we're never going to be. There can be absolute horrendous pieces of human fucking garbage out and about who absolutely have leftist beliefs. They're just dog shit people.
Bill Joyner doesn't even try to collect on $300,000 that he is legally owed. For a supposedly rich asshole who looks to frivolously sue the little guy, Andrew Callahan, this action doesn't seem even remotely in character. Meanwhile, Kelly's law career is imploding for reasons that have nothing to do with Bill Joyner. The state bar brought him up on charges in 2013, and in findings Kelly himself stipulated to, found 21 counts of professional misconduct across 7 different clients. In one case, while representing a bankruptcy client, Kelly told the client that money from the sale of the client's house wasn't part of the bankruptcy estate, and then talked that client into loaning Kelly $22,500 of it. The client got held in contempt of court because Kelly told him that he didn't need to show up to a hearing. The bankruptcy judge, who, per the client, was disgusted, sanctioned Kelly $15,000. Kelly never repaid the client, never paid the sanctions, never met the conditions of his suspension, and so the California Supreme Court disbarred him. Remember in the film when Andrew catches Kelly lying about his disbarment coinciding with the foreclosure? This is what he was lying about. His disbarment wasn't collateral damage from Bill Joyner. It was Kelly doing to his own clients what he was claiming Bill did to him. You really cannot make this up. Keep in mind, up to this point, Andrew could have corrected the record. When he met with that LA attorney around the end of the documentary, they were referring to the same records being mentioned in this complaint. Either Andrew was not smart enough to ask the LA attorney about this, or he purposefully left all of this information out of his documentary. If you have the full picture of who Kelly is, it's pretty clear that he's his own worst enemy, not Bill Joyner. This whole theory about foreclosure.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately very common as well, Maciek. It's just bad personality traits that, like in this way, appear to lend themselves to successful content creators. There's just something about that. It's probably to do with like the power and everything, and the access, and the sort of perceived belief that some people will have is that if somebody like Andrew does good with his journalism, then he like wouldn't do this bad thing, you know what I mean? Because like, how could he? No, always assume the worst of content creators. It's just the healthy way to it's just a healthy thing to do. If we ever do a meet and greet and you see me, just assume the worst. You know what I mean? Just don't take chances. Why would you?
Being the driver of January 6er rage may paint one picture according to the statistics, but in the case of Kelly Johnson, what we see here is a man who is willing to lie and defraud people to make an easy buck. We're going to return to the history section of this complaint later when it's relevant, but let's circle back to the specific complaints made by Joyner's team. The complaints are as follows. While there are 9 complaints, you can really split these complaints into 2 different buckets. Bucket 1 is conduct, physical stuff that Andrew's crew allegedly did. Bucket 2 is speech, what the film says about Bill Joyner. Let's start with the conduct claims. California Civil Code Section 17088 is the anti-paparazzi statute, invasion of privacy to capture a physical impression. The complaint alleges that defendants entered the property directly behind Joyner's house, concealed in ghillie suits, and, quoting here, positioned themselves to obtain a direct line of sight into Mr. Joyner's dwelling and record the occupants inside. Andrew claims that there's no way this could have happened because he didn't ever find Bill.
Now, anybody who's watched Dear Kelly knows how off-base and ridiculous that assessment is. Not only did we never trespass or capture a single recording of Bill.
However, anyone with at least 3 brain cells can easily see the problem here. Andrew did have footage of Kelly's home, and it's clear that the whole point of this segment trying to find Bill Joyner was to see if they could find someone inside of his house from yards away in the hill. Andrew's lawyer, in a letter quoted in the complaint.
Also, what kind of a defense is that? Like, oh yeah, no, this... I didn't do this bad thing because despite trying to do this bad thing, I failed at it. Like, bro, you still trespassed with a fucking ghillie suit. Like, what are we doing here?
Made a similar defense, describing this as pantomimed surveillance. That's a fascinating word choice, because the statute Joyner is suing under explicitly says that it is not a defense that any particular image was or was not ultimately captured or sold. There are also a couple of trespass claims. The complaint alleges the Channel 5 crew got inside Bill's gated community by recruiting the grandson of a resident to name drop himself at the guard shack, while the crew, quote, concealed their cameras and other recording equipment as they passed through the access point. It further alleges that the grandson knew his grandfather wouldn't approve, so he asked the defendants to hide his involvement. When the grandfather found out, he removed his own grandson from the access list. None of that is in the documentary. All we see is Andrew stating he's a legal distance away from Bill's property,
from as close to his house as legally possible.
Unfortunately, we miss the organized scheme to get into a gated community under false pretenses using someone's grandkid as a skeleton key.
Bill Joyner, we're coming out to get you.
They also claim the office confrontation was similarly set up. Andrew's team were able to access an unauthorized area under false pretenses in order to get to the door of Bill's office. We do never see how Andrew is able to make it into the elevator of Bill's office, so this would
legit creepy. It's so weird. It's just so weird. I'm not sure about the specific details tweaked, but if they're all rapists, then we have a moral obligation to shit on all of them.
makes sense to some degree. Bill claims that due to these disruptions and the harassment entailed from them, he had to buy a security system in his house, and that the campaign to find him caused him emotional distress. While at first, this sounds somewhat hysterical, it becomes a lot less so once you realize the context. Let's rewind back to Kelly's history with Bill to make this easier to understand. In October of 2017, Joyner gets a civil harassment restraining order requiring Kelly to stay 500 feet away from him and his family. Kelly appeals it, and the Court of Appeals affirms.
Living in a clown world, bro. And the worst part is that it doesn't seem like that will ever change. Like, I know I'm doom posting, but the fucking incentive structures are so fucked, bro. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. I need to take over Poland, and I need to make this the safe haven for all of you. And then we'll think about conquering America at some point later down the line.
It in full against Kelly. The following was summarized by judges in this long-settled case, not Bill's legal team. The court described flyers accusing Joyner of being a financial predator, described Kelly twice sneaking into Joyner's private community to post them, and described security footage of Kelly, quote, walking up to and around Joyner's house, attempting to look over the gates and into the house in the middle of the night. Even after the temporary restraining order was issued, Kelly came back and videotaped Joyner's back fence, pausing at the access points. The court concluded the totality of his conduct would cause a reasonable person non-trivial distress and mental anguish that should not have to be endured. During this time period, Kelly sent many different emails to Bill with the following statements quoted. "You will pay in a big way, Bill. I guarantee it. I wanted to make sure that you saw my message below, as your attorneys have claimed that you are scared, and you should be. You should be very concerned about the many repercussions you are facing for what you have done. We have nothing to lose. How about you, Bill? I am surprised that Bill Joyner continues to jeopardize his livelihood and personal freedom by continuing to try to steal our family home through verifiable fraudulent recorded documents. He will have his day, and so will your firm." And many, many more. As you heard at the beginning of this video, Kelly keeps suing. A 2016 unfair competition case against Joyner, Joyner's wife, and Joyner's attorneys. Judgment against Kelly in 2017. A 2019 lawsuit that adds the completely uninvolved couple who bought the house as defendants. Joyner, and again, this detail is doing a lot of quiet work, agreed to pay the couple's legal bills himself. That case gets dismissed, and the court formally declares Kelly Johnson a vexatious litigant, meaning he's barred from filing lawsuits in California without a judge's advance permission. Kelly responds by filing 3 more appeals without permission, all summarily dismissed, and then in 2022 files yet another lawsuit using his own daughter Kaylee as the plaintiff. The court found the daughter's name was a ruse to dodge the vexatious litigant order and completely tossed it. So, when Bill Joyner claims that the stunts that Andrew pulled—
How many times do you get your cases tossed before you're like, yeah, do you know what, bro? I'm just gonna chill for a while, you know? Like, I'm just gonna stop it. Or at least a little bit. How many court cases do you have to... How many times does the judge have to tell you to fuck off before you, like, register that's what's being said? GoFundMe should take his shit down or something. It's just, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
caused him extreme mental distress. This makes perfect sense. It eerily mirrors Kelly's conduct in 2017, where the court already ruled in Joyner's favor. Andrew emboldening this behavior would naturally make Bill uncomfortable. I don't know what Andrew was thinking. Either he made the Finding Bill Joyner segment of his documentary through sheer and total negligence, or he has some sort of death wish and decided to get sued in court willingly. Now, bucket 2, defamation and false light. These complaints contain 3 sub-complaints that go as follows: that Mr. Joyner obtained title to the Johnson property through fraudulent means, including by falsifying a trustee's deed and causing fraudulent recorded documents to be filed; that Mr. Joyner stole the Johnson family home; that Mr. Joyner's conduct in connection with the Johnson property constituted criminal violations of the law. In the documentary, it's pretty clear that Andrew does not believe Kelly's theory that Bill Joyner obtained the Johnson's property through fraudulent means. However, this complaint is not necessarily talking about what happened in the documentary. The complaint states that in November 2022 in Portland, Oregon, Andrew Callahan went on a live show promising the crowd that
after we get that home back from Bill Joyner, we're gonna fuck Bill Joyner!
The crowd then chants in response,
Fuck Bill Joyner!
Andrew continues to say,
nobody should steal at home, it's not right.
An audience member then asks a clarifying question, and in response, Callahan states,
We know some things about Bill Joyner, for sure. Can you tell us anything? He didn't actually steal at home, if that's what you're asking. But he gave an unfair loan, I think. We'll figure more out in time. We're gonna find him. We've staked out his corporate office. We've gone to psychotic lengths to identify and find him. But yeah, no Bill yet. We'll get him.
I think bro's got like millions of people watching him. He's fucking playing this in like in national theaters, and he thinks that there might be an issue, you know? He doesn't know. He's got no way of knowing, you know? It's not like he's got any responsibility. He thinks there might be some sussy backer shit going on, but like, how could he ever really know, you know? It's bad. It's very bad, actually. Yeah, Doctor, that was at the very beginning. It was an internet versus video. It wasn't... If you were here yesterday, or if you're staying reasonably up to date with the media shit, I haven't covered anything new, bro.
Additionally, during this time, Andrew Callahan posted a video titled Patriotism, Tattoos, and Being a Shaman. Callahan states in the video description, "Special thanks to Bert and Kelly J. Patriot, aka Kelly Johnson, for making this possible. They're great people and excellent sources. Check them out." The legal team seems to be arguing that from these facts, we can deduce the 4 conditions for defamation. 1. A false statement purporting to be a fact. 2. Publication or communication of that statement to a third person. 3. fault amounting to at least negligence. 4. Damages or some harm caused to the reputation of the person. Specifically here, they are alleging defamation per se, since they are accusing Joyner of a crime, who, as we discussed before, is a private figure. In the case of defamation per se, this makes it so that there doesn't need to be as strict of proof of damages to personal reputation, and has additionally received hits to his own reputation due to the harassment he has received from Kelly and the documentary. In the case of a private figure, the fault simply needs to be negligence on the side of Andrew, and not proof of intention, although it does seem like he basically intentionally accused him of a crime in Portland, which had led to this fiasco. In either case, the status of Bill Joyner makes it so that he's in a very good position to win this defamation case if my understanding of the law is solid, and he has good evidence to back up these claims. Not only this,
it's also, we've gone through the allegations earlier, Doctor. It's to call it sex pest undermines the fuck out of the allegations. Andrew Callahan, as far as I can tell from reading what actually happened, from a write-up of what happened, Andrew Callahan isn't a sex pest. Andrew Callahan is a fucking rapist. And a serial rapist from the sounds of things. So, to just call him a sex pest is, like, downplays the fuck out of that. I don't even know about the allegations, let alone the details that we've read through today. Search up what tweaked? Sorry, I'm misunderstanding your thing.
Case has not gone into discovery, and there are plenty of defamatory statements Kelly has made in the documentary that were never corrected by Andrew, such as Kelly yelling that Bill is a domestic terrorist,
He's a financial predator and a domestic terrorist.
or that he's defrauded others than himself. Maybe these claims will come out after discovery. Only time will tell. Yesterday, July 20th, Andrew Callahan released an update to the lawsuit. Unfortunately, Bill Joyner felt antagonized by the initial lawsuit announcement.
Well, you can just try and link it in chat, and one of the mods can try and help you out.
That's not gonna happen.
What's up, guys?
Andrew could have presented this calmly and objectively, but I suppose that wouldn't have raised him nearly as much as his emotionally charged video featuring Crip Mac calling Joyner a bastard motherfucker. Either way, given Bill's original complaint and his history with Kelly, I doubt the judge will look very kindly at Andrew's initial video. Additionally, Bill Joyner reports getting numerous death threats of physical harm against them and their children, including some colorful ones like, "Are you going after Channel 5? I hope you and your family have 24/7 armed security, and hell awaits you patiently." However, Andrew does not mention any of this. He does not tell his fans to stop threatening Bill or reaching out to him. He simply frames the amendment to Joyner's complaint as
trying to spin our fundraiser as more performative, sensationalist drivel, designed not to fundraise, but to intimidate Mr. Joyner into dropping his case against Callahan.
The rest of Andrew's video is just teasing his newest videos and projects. He's also starting a new All Gas No Brakes website for other grassroots documentarians to get their start. So, my editor is submitting this video as a potential Channel 5 classic. Let's hope that he doesn't pull a Bill Joyner and shut down the little guy, aka the fine folks over at Himpleton Inc. Hi, I'm Himpleton. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. But here's what the Constitution doesn't say. You can put on a ghillie suit, crawl up a hillside behind a man's house, and call it journalism. Have you been named in a 9-count civil complaint? Did you accidentally tell a crowd in Portland, Oregon that you're gonna, quote, get him? Did your camera crew sneak past a guard shack using someone's grandson like a hotel key? I believe that until proven guilty, every documentarian, streamer, and vexatious litigant in this country is innocent. That's why I fight for you. Well, not for you per se. I'm not a lawyer. I just read court documents on the internet. But before you file that anti-slap motion, before you blame the judge for being old, before you launch that GoFundMe, better call Himpleton.
Himpleton is not a licensed attorney in California, Oregon, or anywhere. Himpleton cannot get your house back from Bill Joyner. No refunds.
In the beginning of this video, Andrew claimed that he would rather be boiled alive in a brazen bowl than lose this lawsuit.
So rather enter a brazen bull torture device or be buried alive in a roach-infested pine box than I would agree to any kind of polite negotiations with people like Bill Joyner and his legal team.
However, after reviewing all of the facts, Andrew's claim that this is a frivolous lawsuit is not so clear-cut.
In the complaint, which is also linked below, they describe Dear Kelly as a film that corroborates the false, nonsensical, and mentally disturbed story of defendant Kelly Scott Johnson.
While the film doesn't fully corroborate Kelly's story, it does corroborate much of it due to the sheer fact that Andrew never actually presents the publicly available facts around the original second mortgage that Kelly took out of Bill Joyner's company back in 2007, and how Bill repeatedly tried to make foreclosure the last possible option for Bill to settle on. Further, Andrew indulged, engaged in, and furthered Kelly's delusions with his antics throughout the documentary.
They claim that we spent 2 years stalking, surveilling, video recording, and audio recording Mr. Joyner, his family, his home residence, and his place of business.
While I'm not sure if Andrew had stalked Bill for 2 years,
as soon as this video is over, we've only got 2 minutes left on it.
Trespassing on unauthorized areas in or near his property using deceit, while indulging someone to tag along who already previously had a restraining order from Bill in the past for doing the same exact thing almost a decade prior, sounds like stalking to me. Not to mention all of the schemes Andrew attempted to meet Bill, whether it's the country club or the trip to his office.
And that we traveled to California, where I actually lived at the time, specifically to create recordings intended to harass and intimidate Mr. Joyner, his spouse, and his minor children.
Again, this complaint is tied to the fact that they literally had footage of Bill's house in the documentary, and they were hoping to, at the very least, see Bill or anyone else in the house on camera, which could include his children.
While it first appeared that Callahan was simply reporting on the story of Kelly Johnson, it is clear that at some point the two became quite close, and Callahan has taken on Johnson's crusade against Mr. Joyner as his own.
This is the most defensible position, but in a sense, it really isn't. Andrew, despite all the facts of the matter, clearly likes Kelly as a person, and at multiple times indulges in his deranged fantasies. He took Kelly's quest to find Bill from 2017 and made it his own, knowingly or not. That's all for now. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and comment your thoughts on whether you agree on our analysis. If you feel so inclined, feel free to join the members, where you get exclusive content like behind the scenes calls and streams that can't remain public for a wide variety of reasons. Plus, you get credited at the end of the video, which is always fun. I'm about to show the beautiful people who already support the channel through their membership, but before I do, I've been Himpleton, and I hope you have a great day.
He defecated through a sunroof, and I saved him. I shouldn't have. I took him into my own firm. What was I thinking? He'll never change. He'll never change, ever since he was 9.
The Better Call Saul. Fairly good analysis, yeah. I feel like it was as well. Okay, so Tweaked, is this a video that you would like for us to watch together on stream? Because I think I will be wrapping up for today, but I can put this in my content recommendation channel for you, and we can watch it next time. Whenever possible. All right, yeah, sounds good. We can, Lua, we can put it on in one of the either one of the content channels or one of the content channels will do. Yeah, that will be easiest to remember. Doctor missing all of the stream. Yeah, Doctor, it's I'd love to try and give you a TLDR, but we've covered a decent amount of topics, so I don't know if I'd be able to, you know. I watched a lot of stuff I didn't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to watch it, right? It seems reasonably educational, given what my content is usually like. It's fine. Look, bro, you gotta roll in quicker. Gotta roll in quicker. But no, to be fair, my brain's been rather mushy today anyway. Although I will say, I think given the degree of mushiness in my head right now, I think we've still done quite alright content-wise, you know? Coverage, commentary. Feel like I've done worse streams in better mental condition than I am right now, and I was today. So I consider today a dub. I will first get back through the portal to make sure that I do not lose my souls. And then I will find somebody to raid into. And then I'm heading to bed. I'll feed my cats first. And then I'll head to bed. Pisco's live. Do we want to raid into the Pissman? He's covering politics for a change. Sorry, I'd be raiding into somebody covering politics for a change. And then if you call him the Pissman, I call him the Pissman with fondness and love. It's either Pissman or Reservoir. What do we prefer, my lovely chatters? The one who pisses or the one who shits himself on stream? Alright, it's gonna be the world he wants. Alright, gang. I will talk to you soon. I'll talk to you next week. I might have some updates with all the job interviews and shit happening in my, in real life for me. And in the meantime, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Drink plenty of water. Be kind to your fellow men. And be here next week when we're streaming some more. We loved having you tweaked, and I look forward to chatting to you again. In the meantime, as always, I'll be active in Discord. Take care, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.